Sachin Tendulkar getting 100 here many years ago. Virat Kohli as well, leading India in that Under-19 World Cup final. Mitchell Johnson's spell. The Australian woman touring against Pakistan here at the Kinrara Oval. Pakistan hosting England as well at the Kinrara Oval. Women's cricket and men's cricket, it's been a historic venue in the associate world. It's been a historic venue for all Malaysian fans, a source of pride. But for now, here we go, Kushi Sharma. She's got a slip in position. Vaishnavi Mahesh, the leg spinner there at first slip.
Jay, 2017 in the Under-19 Asia Cup Finals, Afghanistan bowler Mujibur Rahman played here to win that Asia Cup for Afghanistan. And he was straight away picked for IPL and so on. It's history.
Here we go, Kushi Sharma pitches it up. Good stuff there from Kushi. That's another bright spot for the UAE in this tournament. Kushi Sharma taking 10 wickets at the ICC T20 World Cup Asia qualifier last year. But I have to say, in that tournament, she drifted down the leg side all too often. In this tournament, however, her discipline has been right on point. Kushi Sharma, so impressive. Has ability with the bat as well. Ooh, Juan Julia should have been forward to that one. A dot ball into the cover region.
Looks like she is playing a little cautious today. It's a big finals.
Yes, and I have no issue with that whatsoever. 6 runs coming off that first over. The important thing for Malaysia, just tick things along in the power play, a couple of boundaries, maybe 3 or 4 boundaries. Try and limit those dot balls and limit those wickets. Ah, interesting. A slip has been taken out of position. 6-3 offside field. Look at that. Well done, Kushi Sharma, bowling to her field.
Keeping that pressure on the batters. Julia doesn't look that comfortable on a final. Maybe the nerves of a final.
There we go. Induja Nandkumar on your screens just a moment ago. She'll have a big role to play, as will Winnie Duray-Singham. But for now, Kushi Sharma, the tall fast bowler from the UAE. The UAE's tallest player. There we go once again. That teasing line, a bit of a misfield there from Samaira Dharnidarka. No harm done, however. Another dot ball here from Kushi Sharma, keeping things so tight. No runs have come off this over so far. I believe we have 1 delivery left, if my math is any good. Here we go. Juan Julia batting outside her crease. 1 delivery left in this, the second over. Juan Julia on strike. Guides that away down to the 3rd man region. And it's just going to be a single. Suraksha Kote, look at that throw. So there you go, at the end of 2 overs. Malaysia, 7 for no loss.
Yes, Jay, Malaysia will be looking to end this series in a high note. This is the final international game in this venue, the home of Malaysian cricket, Kinrara Oval. They'll be getting a new home soon.
Yes, absolutely. Let's hope Malaysian cricket can find a home as soon as possible. So important to have a venue that's specifically dedicated to cricket. Anytime you're a player and you want to train, just drive down to that venue and you can train. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need any paperwork or anything like that. Just show up. Makes an absolutely massive difference to the development of cricket in any nation. But for now, Chaya Mughal into the 3rd over. There you go, looking for that swing once again. Yusri, I haven't noticed too much movement on offer so far.
Yep. Even Chaya was getting a slight movement, so that's why Winnie is playing for that movement, but it doesn't get that much of purchase yet. So
Oh, an inside edge that's going down to fine leg. Malaysia getting very lucky with that one. Wan Julia with her second boundary. Malaysia with their second boundary. They move on to 11 for no loss in the third over.
Jay, 4 is a 4. Yeah, it might settle some nerves. Yes, yesterday they won against Hong Kong. Yeah, it's a different day. Today is a new day. It's a new game. You have to think newly, approach newly, and execute your plans perfectly.
Yes, 100%. And that statement, it's a new day, applies to both teams. The UAE's batting lineup for the first time in this tournament was tested by Nepal's bowlers. And not just tested, they were dominated by Nepal's bowlers. Malaysia riding that high. Oh, look at that. It was a good drive, but straight to the fielder, Kavisha Igodege, in that cover region. An important dot ball there from Chaya Mughal. She started so well. Could have had a wicket as well.
She had, there was a couple of close calls.
Chaya Mughal looking for that early breakthrough. Pitches it up. Oh, a bit of a misfield there at mid-wicket. Had she gathered, the batters could have been in trouble.
UAE needed to start well because yesterday wasn't that convincing. They want to bounce back strongly to show their strength.
Yes, and Priyanjali Jain there. She's in at that shortish mid-wicket specifically for those catches and run-out opportunities. The UAE, they have to take those half chances. That's given. Plum in front there. Winnie Dure Singham trying to play across the line. Chaya Mughal gets that deserved first wicket. Malaysia 1 down in the third over. We have 1 delivery left in the third over, in fact. 12 for 1, Malaysia.
Yep. This time, a big victory, win for UAE, taking Winifred for a duck. That will put Malaysia on a back foot. A new batter walks in, number 93, Mas Alisa.
There we go, Masalisa with that massive hit over deep mid-wicket yesterday. And, of course, a player of the match performance. So impressive with the ball as well, bowling 2 overs at the death for 12 runs, not giving Hong Kong a single boundary. And a big thing yesterday for Malaysia against Hong Kong. Hong Kong, of course, 38 for no loss after 2.5 overs. Sasha Azmi, the off-spinner with the wicket of Carrie Chan yesterday. And Hong Kong, for the last 49 balls of the contest, could not get a single boundary away. Malaysia's spinners, Sasha Azmi, Nikatila, Masalisa, big credit goes to them. But putting the squeeze on Hong Kong and getting Malaysia into the Asia Cup. Look at that. Here we go. The hero from yesterday, one of the many heroes, in fact, Masalisa facing up. Her first delivery, Priyanjali Jain, still there at that shortish mid-wicket region. 5-4 offside field. That's too short. Oh, unable to put that away. Isha Oza at backward point makes no mistake. A dot ball to close out the third over. 12 for 1. A lot of tension here at the Kinrara Oval. The crowd, the expectant crowd, a lot of them still sitting down. A lot of them with their eyes focused on everything that's happening in the middle right now. 12 for 1 Malaysia. Kavisha Sharma, a really tight first over. Just, I believe 1 or 2 runs coming off that over. 1 run coming off that over from Kavisha Sharma. She's kept it tight throughout the tournament. Here we go. The tall, fast bowler, Kavisha Sharma, pitches it up. Good stuff yet again. Straight into that cover region. Chaya Mughal makes no mistake. Another dot ball in Kavisha Sharma's spell.
Yep. UAE started really well. Keep that first foot front. taking a 1 wicket down for 12 runs in the 4th over. Malaysia.
Pitched up. Ooh, down the leg side. Commentator's curse there. Just praising Kavisha Sharma for her accuracy. She slides down leg, but she's allowed to make mistakes like that with the tournament that she's had so far.
Malaysia will be looking to get that 130 to 150 runs mark to put the pressure on UAE, that scoreboard pressure. Probably they will.
Oh, no movement of the feet. We've seen that yet again from Juan Julia. So that's definitely something she needs to work on. Just gets planted to the crease. That's the 3rd time today we've seen it. But of course, if you're just joining us, 14 for 1 with 2 deliveries into the 4th over. This, of course, is the final of the ACC Women's T20 Championship. These 2 finalists, Malaysia and the UAE, have already qualified for the Asia Cup. But today, they're playing for that shiny golden trophy. Both these teams would love to get their hands on that trophy. Maybe fill up that cup with a celebratory drink of either a non-alcoholic or alcoholic variety. Hey, we don't judge here in the comm box. You do what you please. Fantastic thing for Malaysia. Some historic victories coming in the last couple of months for them. Good stuff from Marcelisa and good fielding there. Keeping it down to a dot ball in the cover region.
Just before this delivery, Chaya was having a discussion with Kushi. Probably she was asking whether you want a slip.
But Yusri, there really hasn't been too much movement on offer. So I think a good decision to not go with that fielder in the slip cordon. So far, it has not cost the UAE. You're more likely to get a wicket off that inside edge, in fact. Here we go, Kavisha Sharma. That's guided away to 3rd man. Work to do here for Suraksha Kote, and good running there. That's really good stuff from Marcelisa and great backing up from Juan Julia.
These 2 batters has to keep the scoreboard ticking. There's the pressure building up on Malaysian batters. The way UAE bowling really tight, not giving much anything for the batters.
Absolutely. That 2 over there actually reminds me of what Carrie Chan said in the post-match presentation. Oh, big appeal, big appeal. I think that was sliding down leg. This should be leg byes. We're waiting for the signal. No signal from the umpire, so runs off the bat. A bit of an inside edge on that one. But like I was saying, Yusri, that 2 a couple of balls ago just reminded me of what Carrie Chan said at the presentation ceremony. She said we gave away too many doubles to Malaysia yesterday. But to Malaysia's credit, their running between the wickets was spot on. And I've counted at least 7 or 8 times Malaysia turned those 1s into 2s. That's an extra 7 or 8 runs. And of course, they won by 12. Here we go, another opportunity for 2. Nah, Suraksha Kote, too good on this occasion. Great anticipation from her at fine leg.
And she wasn't in the edge of the circle, the boundary line. She understood that the 2 batters are trying to edge it away and take quick doubles. So she was 3/4 length standing and cut it off a single.
Interesting from Chaya Mughal. She's going to continue from the other end. I personally would have been tempted just to change things up and get someone like Samaira Darni Darka into the attack. Samaira, interestingly, not opening the bowling today. The UAE going with Kavisha Sharma. Both of them, however, very, very good options. That's pitched up, and that's straight to Samaira at mid-off. Like we said, a feature of Juan Julia's innings today, well, 2 features, the running between the wickets, but also her lack of foot movement. If Juan Julia can fix that, oh my word, imagine that top 4 for Malaysia. Here we go, it's Juan Julia on strike. Good movement of the feet down the track on this occasion. It looked like Chaya Mughal, in fact, just dropping that catch. I was so focused on Juan Julia, so that actually does go down as a drop chance. A tough one, it has to be said, but if you are the UAE skipper, you got to take those. That's why her hand was on her head right now. Here we go, a shot of Sia Gokale, that UAE fielder. Driven. Oh, good work. Good work there. Kavisha Kumari Agodige, not for the first time in this tournament, proving it's very hard to pierce that UAE infield.
You're giving everything, putting your body in line. This big finals. They want to stay on that reputation.
Here we go, halfway through the 5th over. It's 19 for 1. A big appeal. This should be leg byes. We wait for the signal yet again from the umpire. Yes, he gets that knee up. So one more useful run for Malaysia.
21 is on the board. 2 more deliveries to go in the 5th over. For Malaysia, nothing to lose.
That's too full. Well, if Mazalisa was out of her ground, backing up too much, she would have been run out, but not to be. There we go, Mazalisa. She can barely put a foot wrong in this tournament.
She didn't expect that delivery.
Last ball of the over. Ooh, there you go. That one just coming in with that angle. A sneaky single there from Juan Julia. And guess what, Yusri, once again, Juan Julia not using her feet on that occasion. It's not going to cost Malaysia. They're 21 for 1 after 5. I'm not sure if you can hear that in the background. The crowd. Chance of go Malaysia. They're all on their feet right now. Look at that. So many flags. More flags than yesterday. You gotta love it. We've got big flags, little flags, flags on t-shirts. Look at that. Jerseys, yellow jerseys. This is brilliant. The media's here. They're taking pictures. We've got our cameraman as well. Great atmosphere here at the Kinrara Oval. The supporters, they don't even want to wait in that shaded area. They're out there in the heat, so they're as close to the action, as close to their heroes and idols as possible.
There's the final low of the power play. Julia 15 of 21, Mazalisa 3 of 6.
Yes, I feel like it's a bit of a stalemate so far here at the Kinrara Oval. I don't think one or the other team has the advantage right now. There you go, down the leg side yet again. Signal from the umpire. There you go. Oh, a belated signal. Just lulling us into that sense of security and comfort. About to call runs off the bat, and he gets that knee up. So leg byes, we see shots of the crowd. See, some of them have sat down now.
Yeah, they were just, during that break, they were standing up and supporting their national women team.
That's a big feature of the atmosphere here yesterday. The crowd, the staff as well at the MCA, getting the crowd so excited. Salman Bhai, Salman without a Khan, as he introduces himself so often. There we go, pushed into the cover region. Ooh, Vaishnavi Mahesh in like a absolute gazelle. Perhaps saving a single on that occasion. Look at that. Shot of the crowd yet again. You can see a great atmosphere here at the Kinrara Oval. Some of them waiting in the shade. The others saying, no, I don't care about the shade. I want to be as close to that boundary as possible. That's full down the ground. Ooh, a bump ball on that occasion. No runs here for Mazalisa. She's 3 of 8, looking for her first boundary of the innings. Ah, that's good stuff. Cushy. She can be very proud of her day so far. Conceded just the 7 runs, 2 deliveries left in her third over. And of course, 2 deliveries left in the power play. And now the batters, they're very concerned. They've come down for the mid-pitch conference. A punch of the gloves.
Yeah, definitely. The problem is out of 34 balls, 23 dot deliveries. The same issue which UAE had when they were batting yesterday.
Oh, that one just missing the leg stump. Not for the first time in this innings, you have to say. It's been the UAE's power play so far in this innings. Malaysia with just 2 boundaries, and one of those boundaries coming, of course, off a fortuitous inside edge. The UAE looking really, really good. And this is why throughout the tournament we've been saying the UAE are pre-tournament favorites.
Forget the Bhutan team also here. The pavilion.
Here we go. Final delivery of the power play. Great spell here from Kavisha Sharma. Ah, here we go. She is rewarded. An outside edge. It's taken by the keeper. She celebrates, and she definitely deserved that wicket. It's the massive wicket of Masalisa walking back to the dugout. 3 off 11, the player of the match from yesterday. Ooh, at least with the bat, we haven't seen much from her. She's had a great tournament, Masalisa, but walking back to the dugout. 2 absolutely massive wickets here to fall for Malaysia in the power play. They're 22 for 2. Winnie Duraisingam, gone. Masalisa, gone. Elsa Hunter at 4, walking to the crease.
What a start for UAE. 22 for 2. End of the power play. That started strongly, sending that message across. 6 overs, 22 for 2. Malaysia. These 2 batters has to play a brilliant knock to get Malaysia back on track. They'll be looking to play next 7 to 8 overs. Get 4 to 5 runs per over. At least to get closer to that 70 runs mark. End of over number 14 with wickets in hand. Shaya Mughal to continue. Bowling a final over. 13 runs for 1 wicket.
I've loved this from the UAE. So disciplined. There isn't too much in this wicket for the bowlers. A really good batting deck here at the Kinrara Oval. And it's what you want to see in T20 cricket as well. Batters in associate cricket will only get better when they have the freedom to go for their shots. That's how you improve your T20 game. That's how you start competing with higher ranked associates and even full members. There we go. Ooh, kind of yorks herself on that occasion. Wan Julia. The important thing for Wan Julia and Malaysia, she's still at the crease. 15 off 24, she's got a nice start. The important thing for Wan Julia, when you have someone like Elsa Hunter at the other end, just do not eat up those dot balls. Try and get those singles. We only have 2 fielders on the boundary, a deep fine leg and a deep mid-wicket. Everyone else is in the circle. We've got a gully, a backward point, a cover, an extra cover, a mid-off, a mid-on, and a mid-wicket, all in the circle.
The dot deliveries has created a lot of pressure on Malaysians. That scoreboard pressure, you can see 2 wickets down. That was the opportunity for short mid-wicket.
Absolutely. Ooh, that one almost hitting. Wan Julia in the face. She gets her glove up in time. But good batting there from Wan Julia. Even if she hasn't been good, apologies, at getting onto that front foot, I like how she's charged down the wicket, turning deliveries into a full toss. That's something that Winnie Duraisingam did so well yesterday in her 26 off 21 against Hong Kong. Now 23 for 2, we're into the 7th over.
A quick single there. And with that, Elsa Hunter opens her account.
Absolutely, just worked off the legs on that occasion. And you're right, Elsa Hunter off the mark off her very first delivery. So important to feel bat on ball, get that early run, get off the duck.
It's very, very important to keep that scoreboard ticking. Every dot delivery will create extra pressure on the middle order.
Yes, good end to the over. A Yorker to close out her spell. A good day at the office for UAE skipper Chaya Mughal. 1 for 14 in her 4 overs. Malaysia, after 7, 24 for 2. Look at that, a shot of Elsa Hunter taking her guard right now. And of course, I like this Kavisha Sharma. She's going to bowl out as well. So good fitness here as well from Chaya Mughal and Kavisha Sharma. I know what you're thinking. It's only a 4-over spell. But trust me, it's been a long tournament. A lot of games coming thick and fast. Back-to-back games on back-to-back days here for both teams.
That's a wide down the leg. Sharma. Couple of wide deliveries from her. Apart from that, she was bowling really well to that 4th and 5th stump line. Testing the batters.
Yep. Second time in her spell, she's drifted down the leg side. Ooh, look at that. A thickish inside edge goes down to mid-on. It's a dot ball. Once again, Kavisha Sharma, so intelligent. She knows there's not too much in this wicket. So she's got to create those angles herself. A shot of Tirtha Satish, the wicketkeeper, back behind the stumps. Priyanjali Jain has been keeping... Oh, there you go. Strong shot there. Elsa Hunter, so wristy, so powerful, splitting that gap between the bowler and mid-on. First boundary of the innings for Elsa Hunter. Oh, look at that. That Malaysian flag flying across the field. Look at that. Great camera work as well, staying with that Malaysian flag. Malaysia really needed that boundary. The crowd now getting more and more more and more excited. We're getting excited in the comm box as well. We love a good contest between bat and ball. Kavisha Sharma. Oh, look at that. So elegant. Elsa Hunter plays her cricket in Australia, but has those subcontinental wrists.
Jay, that boundary was very important for Malaysia to build that momentum back to the batters and go on. They know that if they short of 100, it's tough.
Oh, down the leg side. Kavisha just losing her radar a bit. So the decision to continue with Kavisha Sharma, well, so far, it has not paid off. 6 runs coming off the first 3 deliveries of this over. 30 for 2 now, halfway through the 8th over.
Jay, what I see is from Kavisha Sharma, she's trying that outswing, but there's no swing in purchase today. So it goes drifting down the leg. Each delivery, she's trying that outswing. Straight to the fielder. When Julia was interested for a single, good call by Elsa Hunter to send her back. No harm done, 30 runs for 2 wickets in the 8th over.
It will be interesting to see how Elsa Hunter and Juan Julia combine in this innings. If I was Juan Julia, my job is easy. Just get those singles. UAE, interestingly, willing to give the single to Elsa Hunter. There we go. Those strong wrists yet again. Whipped away in front of square. Deep mid-wicket boundary. There's nobody there. Second boundary of the over for Malaysia. Second boundary of the over for Elsa Hunter.
A good start from Elsa Hunter. She need to be a bit careful when she's playing her stroke play. We saw in the series couple of good starts and suddenly Just miscalculated shots. Ended the score shortly, so
Guided away yet again. Oh, a bit of a misfield there. It looks like Vaishnavi Mahesh has let that go through her hands. Oh, good stop there at the boundary. So they cut it down to 3. And a huge over here for Malaysia. They're now 37 for 2. After 8, Kavisha Sharma conceded 20 in her 4-over spell for 1 wicket. That last over has just sort of spoilt her figures a little bit. Elsa Hunter racing along to 12 off 7. The dominant partner so far in this partnership. Yusri Rauf, a massive over here for Malaysia.
There are 13 runs coming in that over. A big over for Malaysia that they were looking for. Now from here they need to build in their innings. Elsa Hunter need to play that longer innings. Support their partner. Vanjulia. 16 off 27. Elsa Hunter 12 off 7. There's a bowling change. Hinduja Anandakumar coming to the attack. Just sliding towards the leg. Into that deep mid wicket. Taking a single. It's good batting by the batter, Elsa Hunter. She's having a bit of experience playing in abroad as well. Played some club cricket in England during her studies. Good stop. Chance of a run. Now when Julia, after that blistering start in the beginning, didn't see much. She's a bit bucked down with the pressure built by the bowlers. She has to come out soon. All dancing down, played straight down. That will be going to a boundary. 4 runs for Malaysia. Malaysia moves on to 42 runs on the board. Loss of 2 wickets in the 9th over. And Julia. That will create immense good for Malaysian batters. These two need to play off another, at least for next 5 overs. Good delivery. Good comeback by Hinduja. Slower delivery. Ball into that off stump line. Pitching up at 4th stump and bring into the off. And Julia was too early to that shot. She jumped, came down. Hinduja, what a bowling, what a comeback. She noticed early when Julia is trying to come down the ground and trying to play off. You can see mid-off is being pushed back a little. Close call and given. Trying to play that across. That's the pressure of dot deliveries. When Julia departs after scoring 20 runs of 32, that's a big loss for Malaysia. 42 for 3. 20 runs partnership being broken. That was a big loss for Malaysia. Manjulia played really well, scoring 20 runs. Departed. Now, rebuilding process on the card for Malaysia. They cannot lose many wickets now. They have to play cautiously for next 4 to 5 overs.
And with that, we have a change in bowling. Leg spinner Vaishnavi Mahesh into the attack. The good thing for Mahesh is she's bowling to a bit of a cushion here. 3 wickets down for Malaysia. It looked like they were just about grabbing momentum in this game. That one played against the spin from Elsa Hunter to deep mid-wicket for a single. There we go. The new batter at the crease, Aina Hamiza. Her job is simple. Stay there, rebuild. Ah, look at that. A little bit of bounce on that from Vaishnavi Mahesh. An absolutely beautiful action from the leg spinner. And she's so accurate. She can bat as well. A very useful knock of 16 in that last game against Nepal. Tossed up. Look at that. Once again. Extra bounce on that one and a bit of spin off that wicket as well.
Very interesting. So spinning early on with a bit of bounce.
I'm very interested to see how Vaishnavi Mahesh bowls to full members and higher ranked associates at that Asia Cup coming up later in the year. What an opportunity for Malaysia. What an opportunity for the UAE, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. There you go, nudged into the offside. No run on offer.
Yeah, in few months later, in October, these 2 teams will be traveling to Bangladesh to take on these big names. And Hamiza straight to the fielder. Very good over. Just a single run. End of over number 10. Malaysia 43 for 3.
And as you can say, we call it in the industry the beauty shot. A shot here of the iconic Kinrara Oval. Last ever international match to be played at this venue. An emotional day for everyone who's been involved with Malaysian cricket in the last couple of years, or couple of decades. 19 years of history here at the Kinrara Oval. The players are taking a bit of a drink. We will probably do the same. But we'll be back with you shortly in around, I would say 60 to 80 seconds from now. So here we go, the halfway mark. Malaysia, they're 43 for 3. After 10 overs, if you're just joining us, the news from the middle is Winnie Duraisingam won the toss and decided to bat first. Malaysia, it was a slow start for them in the power play. 22 for 2. They lost both Winnie and Marcelisa. It looked like they were making a mini recovery courtesy of Elsa Hunter. A couple of quick boundaries for her. She's 14 off 9, but they lost Juan Julia just a couple of overs ago. Vaishnavi Mahesh just a single off the previous over. Induja driven. Samira Dharni Darka cuts that off. Oh, what do you think, Yusri? I feel like a single was on offer.
Yep. Probably with the pressure, they don't want to take risky runs. Losing 3 early wickets. 43 for 3. 11th over.
Bang in front of square. Deep mid wicket is right in position, however. 15 off 11 so far for Elsa Hunter. The two batters at the crease. Aina Hamiza and Elsa Hunter, of course. Aina Hamiza yet to get off the mark. She's faced 5 deliveries.
As we said, they can't afford too many dot deliveries. I've lost 3 early wickets just because of that. Need to keep ticking the scoreboard. Put the pressure back on UAE.
On the leg stump. Good stuff here from Aina Hamiza. She's going to get 1. They're looking for 2. Fantastic. Malaysia, they double up as they have so often in the last couple of games.
So Aina Hamiza opens her account. Now, next few overs, a couple of delivery. That's 70 runs mark by over number 14.
That's pitched up. Once again, they're going to sneak a single to that square leg region. Good stuff here from Aina Hamiza, just providing useful company here for Elsa Hunter.
I would say first 10 overs went on UAE way. There was good couple of opportunities went on Malaysia.
Yusri, you hit the nail on the head right there. Malaysia's running between the wickets. Really, really good so far in this innings. And fantastic against Hong Kong as well. Oh, look at that. That's the massive wicket of Elsa Hunter. That was not short enough to pull away. Inside edges that onto her stumps. And you have to say that momentum has swung decisively in favor of the UAE. Elsa Hunter, Winnie Duraisingam, and Marcelisa now all back in the dugout. Ooh. Tucks her gloves between her armpits. She's walking off the field. Elsa Hunter, as she usually does, looking so good at the crease. But these cameos, not good enough if you want to beat a team like the UAE. That expected score, we were talking about something in the region of 100. Malaysia, they might have to adjust.
Jay Induja has taken 2 wickets bowling in that channel, pitching out that channel and trying to move the ball a little bit. Especially that cutter delivery for one Julia. This time, straight to the wicket. Getting that inside edge to the wicket.
And we have a new batter at the crease.
Yep.
Ariana Natasha, the left arm spinner, walking in at number 6. She's got some work to do. Aina Hamiza at the other end. The good news for Malaysia, however, they still do have a little bit of power in the dugout. Intan Jamahdayu often comes in to finish off the innings, give it a final late burst. But the important thing for these two, just build a partnership, limit those dot balls. Oh, look at that. In that corridor of uncertainty. One thing that is certain, however, is the UAE are in control. Malaysia, 47 for 4 after 11.
Another great over from Induja. 4 runs, taking a wicket. 2 overs, 9 for 2.
Mate, Yusri, if you are Malaysia right now, what is your game plan?
I would say these two batters to play next 6 overs, get closer to 80 runs mark and try to score that 100 runs mark on the board. End of over number 20.
In my opinion, I'd be looking to attack Vaishnavi Mahesh. You have a wideish mid-on, a wideish mid-off. There's a big gap there, straight down the ground. Get to the pitch of the ball, smother the spin, and hit it as hard as you can. Try and get some elevation on it as well. There we go. That's exactly what she does. And she clears mid-on, making the commentator look very, very wise there, the batter. 50 up for Malaysia, 51 for 4. We're 2 deliveries into the 12th over. Yusri, we called it. I absolutely love these tactics here from the batter.
Yeah, Jay, they heard you. Only one fielder was there before that delivery outside the circle, which was at the deep mid-wicket. Now, straight away, there's a long on.
No, but I like this from the UAE. This is not a defensive field set. You're taking away that release shot from the batter. Like we talked about just a moment ago, a huge gap there with mid-on and mid-off both wide. As a batter, you have margin for error if you don't place it exactly where you want to. And someone like Aina Hamiza, what is her backup plan now? If you go against the spin, you're only going to get a single.
Yeah, you have scored a boundary already. So if you don't want to take a risk, just take singles.
What this also means is if she wants that boundary, she's got to go over that fielder at mid-wicket, a big appeal. Oh, just squaring up the batter on that occasion. I like this from Vaishnavi Mahesh, a really, really good comeback. She gets a high five from Kavisha Sharma, as you see on your screens right now. Last delivery of the over, Vaishnavi Mahesh. She's only conceded that boundary and a single in her first 11 deliveries. A mid-pitch conference, a punch of the gloves. Aina Hamiza back on strike. 7 off 12. What can she muster off this last delivery? Tossed up, respectfully played. Good stuff there. Suraksha Kote cuts that off at short third man. 51 for 4. Malaysia after 12.
Vaishnavi there, she read it well, the batter. After putting that long on, the batters are not taking any risk to go for the bowler. So she is not hesitant to flight the delivery.
Yes, absolutely. And that cover there as well at a deep mid-on. Apologies, a deep mid-on, a long on. There's no such position as deep mid-on. There you go. It's been a long tournament for all of us here. The production crew, the commentary box, the tournament organizers. An in-house production, this from the Malaysian Cricket Association. There we go, into deep mid-wicket, just a single there. The important thing for Ariana Natasha, however, she is off strike and off the mark.
And Ananda Kumar bowling really well today. 2 wickets for 9 runs. Keeping in a tight line.
That's shorter. Good stuff there from Induja, just mixing it up. Watchfully played there from Aina Hamiza, a dot ball. Aina Hamiza, of course, like much of the Malaysian lineup. Tears of happiness yesterday. Those tears did not stop flowing. The hugs, the embraces, the kisses on the cheek. Emotional scenes at the Kinrara Oval. Qualifying for that Asia Cup, a big appeal. The umpire thinks it's a play and a miss. And the UAE, they abort that optimistic appeal.
UAE has deployed 7 fields in a circle. There is the 13th over in proceeding. Putting the pressure, fielders are brought in, putting that pressure on the batters because to cut off the singles. Now they have put the mid off to a long off position, but she is in the middle of.
Oh, charges down the track. Uppish to Chaya Mughal in that short cover position. Oh, nervous moments there for Aina Hamiza. Not to the pitch of the ball, bailing out of that shot. And in my estimation, just getting a tad lucky on that occasion.
53 for 4. 2 more deliveries to go in this 13th over.
There we go. Worked off the hips. A dot ball.
What an important position that was, a short mid-wicket. More often it goes to that position. Cutting a lot of singles there. Fully defended this time. And that's the end of over number 13, Malaysian women's. 53 for 4.
Great to see the likes of John Caps Jenna and Rob Harvey listening and watching on YouTube. So active on social media. Great advocates of the women's game. A lot of players as well watching here at the Kinrara Oval. We have the Bhutan team. Just like they were yesterday, they're in for the game today. Clicking pictures with Carrie Chan as well yesterday, as well as the winning Malaysian team. Deshe Choden, former skipper, always wearing that baseball hat. A shot of Isha Oza will have a role to play with the bat. Look at that, Vaishnavi Mahesh. Not for the first time today, getting that vicious turn away from the right-hander. I don't know about you, Yusri, but I want to see Suraksha Kote come in from the other end, the UAE off-spinner. Flight it up. Oh, look at that. Waiting on that one. Aina Hamiza gets a cheeky single to that third-man region.
Yesterday, probably Vaishnavi bowling, the way she bowls, it will be interesting to bring another spinner from the other end, but Hinduja bowled really well, taking 2 wickets. So that's probably the reason that she was kept on bowling.
Tossed up. Oh, good shot there. Has she found the gap? Long on, runs around, cuts that off. Good work there from the UAE. They're looking for 3 runs, Malaysia. Fantastic running yet again. Malaysia turning that 2 into a 3. Well done, Ariana Natasha. Well done, Aina Hamiza. They're building a bit of a partnership here. The scoreboard now rattles along to 57 for 4. We're halfway through the 14th over. Yusri Rauf, what kind of total are Malaysia looking at?
Surely Malaysia will be aiming at 90. 90 to 100. Still 6 wickets in hand.
And of course, in order to get 90 runs, they need 33 of the next 38 deliveries. Certainly capable of that. I beg your pardon. Our mouths just drying up here in the comm box. The only reason we have any voice left is because of how important these last 2 days have been. Firstly, in the context of Asia Cup qualification, and now in context of this trophy. It's the big final here between Malaysia and the UAE. If you're just joining us, the news, of course, is Malaysia won the toss and decided to bat first. It's 58 for 4 after 14.
5 runs coming in that final last over.
For all of you watching on YouTube, we have 6 overs left in this contest. I want to hear from you. What are your score predictions? What total will Malaysia post today, this morning at the Kinrara Oval? $58 for 4, 14 overs gone, 7 runs and over will take them to exactly 100. That's pitched up into the leg side. Kavisha Kumari go to gate. There's no getting it through her today.
Hinduja continues from the comm box end. 11 runs for 1 wicket in 3 overs she bowled.
There we go, down the ground. Has she found the gap? No, she hasn't. Suraksha Kote, the off spinner, doing a great job there at long on.
Hinduja probably trying to take another 1 wicket before she ends her spell. For Malaysia, these two has to continue.
It's a 5-4 offside field. We've got a long off and a long on in position. Thickish inside edge, Kavisha Kumari. A go to Gay will cut that off. 2 runs here. 2 useful runs to Malaysia. Make no mistake, given this field set, the UAE are in death bowling mode right now. I think the UAE know anything in that region of 100, they can chase it down. Or at least that's what they have faith in. For Malaysia, on the other hand, I think this is playing right into their hands. I think Malaysia as well want a total of at least 100. That goes down the ground yet again. Suraksha Kote has been right on point throughout the day. She's had a good day in the field, even if Chaya Mughal has not tossed the ball to the off spinner. And to my left in the comm box, Yusri Rauf, crunching those numbers, a very statistical, numerical person. That's been squeezed away to that gully region for a single.
Yep. Out of 89 deliveries, I was checking how many dot deliveries we have given. Malaysia has given 57 dot deliveries out of 89. That is too much in a T20 format.
Yeah, that's an interesting stat. I would say on the flip side for Malaysia, on more than one occasion, they've turned ones into twos and twos into threes. So yes, you're absolutely spot on. The numbers do not lie. Here we go. Hinduja, that shorter whipped away off the hips. Deep mid wicket cuts that off. It's just a single. One thing I would be interested to see is the dot ball percentage in this partnership so far. But for now, we have 5 overs left. The score is 64 for 4.
Six runs came in that last over. And that's the Hinduja's 4 overs completion. 17 for 2. What a bowling performance for her. Nevertheless, there were 21 runs came in that last 5 overs, losing a wicket. That very important stage. We are into that last 5 overs. Jay, what would you think UAE will be happy to restrict Malaysia in the over number 20?
Anything in the region of 95, anything under that magical 3-figure score of 100, the UAE will be confident. Even if Malaysia get up and above just over 100, I think the UAE would be happy with that. And for that matter, I feel like Malaysia as well. That first target for them, get up to 100. And if you're the UAE, the plan is very, very simple. Boundaries, you got to restrict them. 1s and 2s, dot balls, any day of the week, absolutely fine. We're into the death of this innings.
Jay, that 57 dot deliveries in 90 deliveries, it's put pressure on Malaysian scoreboard. Otherwise, they would be happy to get that 75 to 85 runs mark. They are right. 20 runs short.
Tossed up. Oh, an outside edge on that one. Ariana Natasha getting rather lucky. There we go. The umpire confirming that. No signal from him, so it's going to be a run for Ariana Natasha and a bit of a reprieve as well. Destiny and fate being very kind to Ariana Natasha on that occasion. Once again, Aina Hamiza on this occasion not making a good connection.
Mahesh kept it tight, not hesitant to flight that delivery, getting a bit purchase of the wicket, bounce and spins.
Tossed up. Oh, big shot. We got a slip in position as well. Aggressive field setting with a little under 5 overs left. Chaya Mughal, I have to say, I've loved her field. Apologies, her bowling changes so far today.
Chaya Mughal has kept that catching positions on.
Look at that, a wideish first slip. Suraksha Kote, bang! Over that fielder at mid-wicket. It's running down to deep mid-wicket. A very, very important boundary here from Malaysia, just breaking the shackles. Aina Hamiza onto 16 off 27. Yusri, fantastic shot that against the spin.
This should be taken before taking that calculated risk. That's all the spectators are enjoying.
I gotta say, that first slip, a surplus to requirements right now. You could easily have that same player somewhere in that offside or even that leg side. I don't think you have to take wickets at this point in time. Restrict the opposition. As long as they don't get 100 or they don't get past that total of 100, you should be okay. Look at that, Vaishnavi Mahesh. Bowling to her field, a 6-3 offside field. Couple of dot balls to close out the 16th over. Vaishnavi Mahesh. An impressive spell from her. 15 for no loss in her 4 overs. Malaysia, they have 24 balls left to play with. Their score, 69 for 4.
All the 4 bowlers bowled for UAE has bowled out. And now 2 new bowlers going to bowl the last 4 overs. It's not easy coming in the depth straight away. Bowling to your line and length. You can see Aina Hamiza's intentions in the previous over. She was trying to go for the shots, but she was unsuccessful, not connecting well. So we have Suraksha Kote from the comb box end to bowl the over number 17.
There we go. A change in bowling here.
Suraksha Kote continues.
Absolutely. Suraksha Kote, the off spinner, into the attack for the first time today. She's been a regular feature in the field for the UAE, has barely put a foot wrong, saved a bunch of runs as well. Ooh, and concedes a bonus run on this occasion. What can I say? Yusri, commentator's curse, striking yet again.
As I said, in the final overs, straight away coming and bowling her first over, it's not an easy task because understand the batters are trying to take on you.
Ariana Natasha letting that go, but it's not a wide delivery. When you're given width like that, I feel like you've got to go for it. If you can reach it, go for it. There's a gap there between backward point and a shortish third man. There you go, a full toss on this occasion, goes to deep mid-wicket. It looked like Suraksha Kote just changed things up, perhaps bowling the leg spinner on that occasion. And maybe that's why she overpitched as well. It's not very easy that, switching between off spin and leg spin.
Yeah.
But at least on this occasion, it was a lowish full toss. There we go. Tries that leg spinner yet again. It's been worked away to deep square leg. Malaysia, they're looking for 2. It's not there.
Wasn't it a low full toss? She could have gone for a boundary. Tried for a... Rather, she's...
The great thing for the UAE here, Apologies for Malaysia. I believe a partnership of 25 right now. Whacked away into the leg side. Kavisha Sharma will not cut that off. It splits the gap between deep mid-wicket and long on. Another boundary as the batters embrace in the middle of the pitch. That score now moving on to 76 for 4. Aina Hamiza with her third boundary. Apologies. Ariana Natasha with her first boundary of the innings.
76 for 4. Final delivery of the over number 17.
A really good partnership this, an unbeaten partnership of 29. This has been a very, very important stand in the context of this final for Malaysia. Suraksha Kote, a leg spinner yet again, worked away. Kavisha, there we go, cuts that off. But unable to prevent the single, 77 for 4. With 8 runs coming off that over. So, a little bit of momentum here for Malaysia. If they want to reach that magical 3-figure mark, they need 23 in the last 3 overs.
6 wickets in hand. They easily can looking to take on the game from here to get that 23 runs. That Isha Oza taking the ball from the far end.
Yes, absolutely. The tall off spinner Isha Oza, I beg your pardon, into the attack. I have to say, very surprised I am not to see Isha Oza bowl earlier in the innings. Perhaps Chaya Mughal just giving as many bowlers as possible a bit of a go. Then again, Chaya Mughal, Kavisha Sharma barely put a foot wrong. That's tossed up. Look at that. A fullish length delivery and a very important dot ball here for the UAE. Malaysia running out of time. 17 deliveries left in this innings. Yusri, can they get to 100?
They are eyeing that the way they were batting the last few deliveries. 23 more runs. Yes, Jay. Isha Oza started the innings, a previous group game.
An attempted sweep, a big appeal. I believe that's come off the pad. Third man runs around and cannot prevent 2 runs. So loud cheers here from the crowd. They know every single run, so important. The pressure of a final, the pressure of chasing on a final, it could tell on the UAE. You never know. So if you're Malaysia, just hang in there. Get something, anything around that 100 mark. And the opposition could be nervous in that chase. Down the ground. Ooh, bit of a misfield there. Goes to mid-on, just a single.
Good running between the wickets by 2 batters. They are taking on. Keep the scoreboard ticking.
All of you watching on YouTube. Oh, there we go. That's edged away to third man. A single there for Malaysia. But all of you listening right now and watching on YouTube, we have 2,000 people at the Crick Tracker YouTube channel. A lot more watching on Women's Crick Zone and the Crick Tracker Facebook page, as well as the official website. I want to hear from you. Hit up that comment section. Let me know. Oh, a clean gather there. Would have had Ariana Natasha short of her crease, not to be. Another run to the total for Malaysia, but hit up that comment section. Let us know. What do you think Malaysia will score at the end of this first innings? Isha Oza into bowl yet again. That's fired in, tucked away into the leg side. Priyanjali Jain, well done. No single on offer. A valuable dot ball here for the UAE.
At the end of over number 18, Malaysia 82 for 4.
And see for Malaysia if they can just get 1 boundary each in the next 2 overs. A couple of singles here and there, a double, maybe the help of a wide delivery as well. That's how you get those 18 runs that you need to get up to a total of 100. It's such a psychological edge to get up to 3 figures. When you're the opposition, you know, okay, I'm chasing 5 runs and over. It does make a difference. So at the very least, they want to get up to 99 or 100. Set a 3-figure target for the UAE, the pre-tournament favorites. Here we go. Suraksha Kote drops it short. She should have been put away. Aina Hamiza, a bit of a play and miss from her. 2 boundaries in her innings so far. But her non-boundary strike rate, you have to say, has not been very impressive. Playing too many dot balls in this innings. A leg spinner. A thickish inside edge, but she's found the gap. Well done there. Samaira Darni-Darka unable to cut that off. A good bit of whippage there. Look at that. Malaysian flags running across the outfield. Look at that. Yusri Rauf, you love to see this if you're Malaysia. They've already qualified for the Asia Cup, but so many fans in here. So many school children. So many youngsters, teenagers, the Bhutan team. Whether you're in cheering for Malaysia or just cheering for this tournament and cricket in general, it's a fantastic atmosphere here at the Kinrara Oval.
It's very important for Malaysian women's team and development of women's cricket in this region.
Good innings. Ariana and Tatasha turns that into a full toss. Gets the boundary. Gets that single right afterwards. So important to do that. You don't want to hit a boundary and face a dot ball. Just keep that scoreboard ticking along. Keep that strike rotating. Keep that pressure on the opposition.
The 2 batters has done immense good. A brilliant...
Short, well cut off here. Shaya Mughal definitely saving at least 1 run, if not 3. She's going to get a high 5 there from Isha Oza and Vaishnavi Mahesh. Good stuff there, Chaya Mughal. Skipper leading by example. Suraksha Kote, she's been too short on too many occasions in this over.
8 more deliveries to go. Can they get 12 more runs?
The UAE protecting those leg side boundaries. Deep square leg, deep mid wicket. A long on in position. There we go. Just yorks herself, the batter. But she's going to pick up a single. Ariana Natasha, good stuff here from the right-hander. She's also a left-arm spinner. Expect her to see her in action in the second innings, where she will, I assume, have a big role to play.
Final delivery of the 19th over.
Pressure here on Suraksha Kote. She's been hit down the ground. Work here for Induja Nandakumar. She cuts that off. Will she cut off the 2? No. A stronger, more accurate throw would have had the non-striker. Ariana Natasha in trouble. However, it must be said, a very good over here for Malaysia. 9 runs off it. Then 91 for 4. 6 deliveries left in the first innings. If you're just joining us, the news, of course, is Malaysia won the toss in the final and decided to bat first.
The final over.
22 for 2 in the first 6 overs for Malaysia. Not the strongest power play. They hit back via Elsa Hunter. But UAE, once again, that pendulum swinging yet again. And then a partnership from Malaysia as well.
27 runs came in the last 4 overs. Can they get 9 more runs? As I said earlier, they are looking at 90 to 100 runs after losing early 4 wickets.
Here we go. Last over. Isha Oza. She's hit down the ground, long off. Cuts it off. Good work there by the fielder in the deep. 92 for 4. 5 deliveries left now in the 20th over. 5 deliveries left in the innings.
$92 for 4.
Isha Oza. That high arm action. She's swept away. Work to do here. Deep square leg. Can she get around? No, she can't. Maybe she had to put in a bit of a dive. Malaysia, however, they don't mind. They don't mind one bit. Another boundary here for Ariana Natasha. She's racing along. 28 off 24 with 3 boundaries. A brilliant sweep shot there in front of square. And that score for Malaysia moving on to 96 for 4. They're looking good for a score in the region of 100. 4 deliveries left in this innings. What can Malaysia muster? Here we go. Down the track. Oh, that's been dropped by Samaira Darnidarkan. I beg your pardon. It was actually Aina Hamiza hitting the boundary on that occasion.
Straight catch was dropped.
The important thing for Malaysia, another run to their total. And now, in fact, it's Ariana Natasha on strike. Here we go. 3 deliveries. Bang! Long off. Good work. Cuts that off. Just a single. 2 deliveries left here in the 20th over. A 5-4 offside field. We've got a deep square leg, a deep mid-wicket, a long on in position. We've got another mid-wicket. I beg your pardon. Look at me. Throat drying up here in the commentary box. Close to 40 hours of commentary for me so far. Jay Dansaghani. You can follow me on Twitter at Jay Dansaghani if you like what you've heard. Play and a miss. The umpire unmoved.
The final delivery to go.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure you follow the MCA, the ACC, Crick Tracker, all over their social media channels. Regular updates throughout these games. Live updates. That's the great thing. If you're driving around, you're on the train, you can't watch the game, you can always get these live updates. But for now, last delivery. Bang! Isha Oza. That one goes through her hands. Malaysia looking for 2. They have to come back. There you go. Is that a run out?
No, it wasn't. So 2 runs taken and big 100 on the board. End of over number 20. 53 runs partnership came in 54 deliveries.
Absolutely. 100 for in trouble in that 12th over, but they recovered so well. And that's why you see those flags waving. Malaysia, the fans, the players, they know that they've got a big opportunity here at the Kinrara Oval. It has to be said, the UAE, of course, are favorites in this game so far. It's a simple batting track this. No real demons in the wicket. A little bit of turn we saw for Vaishnavi Mahesh. But the important thing for Malaysia, they get that magical 3-figure score. 100 for 4 after 20 overs. Good work there from Aina Hamiza, 28 off 38. Ariana Natasha, 25 off 24. 3 and 2 boundaries apiece, respectfully, for the 2 batters at the crease. And we're just going to sum things up for you. Winnie Duraisingam out for a duck. Juan Julia, she started well, 20 off 32, but she slowed down before being dismissed. Masalisa, the big wicket falling inside the power play. Elsa Hunter, 15 off 12. Aina Hamiza, 28 off 38. And Ariana Natasha, very good innings at the end, 25 off 24. 100 for 4 for Malaysia's women. In 20 overs, that bowling card. Strong start from Chaya Mughal, 1 for 14. Kavisha Sharma looked good, 1 for 20. Figures being spoilt in that last over. 2 for 17 for Induja. None for 15 for leg spinner Vaishnavi Mahesh. Suraksha Kote, 17 in her 2 overs. Isha Oza, 12 in her 2 overs at the depth.
And there's a 53 runs partnership came in, that 55 deliveries for the 5th wicket. That put Malaysia in a decent position. They have a good score to bowl at. You remember Nepal, they restricted the UAE for 81. Can that be repeated by Malaysia today? Not every day you can do that.
Mate, Yusri, I'm going to say I'm way too diplomatic to make a prediction. It's tough to call, I have to say. It looks like the UAE are in the box seat. But for now, we're going to take a short innings break. This has been a Malaysia Cricket Association in-house production. Make sure to follow Malaysia Cricket, the Asian Cricket Council, and Crick Tracker all across their social media feeds. I'm one of your 2 commentators for the day, Jay Dansaghani. If you like what you've heard, you can follow me on Twitter at Jay Dansaghani. And please be sure to follow Yusri Rauf as well. We'll be back with you in around 7 or 8 minutes from now for the second innings. UAE need 101 to win in 20 overs. Welcome back. It's the second innings of the final here at the ACC Women's T20 Championship. Malaysia scoring 100 for 4 in their 20 overs. The UAE, they need 101. We're about ready to get underway. Isha Oza, the tall right-hander on strike at the other end. At the non-striker's end, left-handed Tirtha Satish. I'm one of your two commentators for the day. For this innings, I beg your pardon, Jay Dansinghani. There we go, wide-ish from Winnie Duray-Singham. Squeezed into the covers, a dot ball to kick things off for Malaysia. And of course, my co-commentator for this innings, none other than Jishuvan.
Hello and still a good morning to everyone. And we are back again for the second innings in the finals. Malaysia versus UAE. Winifred is up to face Isha Oza. Comes up with a dot ball. And the target that has been given to the UAE, 101 runs to be chased in 20 overs.
Absolutely. Just a hint over 5 runs and over required for the UAE to win this final and lift the trophy of the ACC Women's T20 Championship. Winnie Duray-Singham. There we go. That's driven to mid-on. A chance. Oh, a direct hit. And it would have been first wicket down for Isha Oza and for the UAE. That was incredibly close. A lucky break here for Isha Oza. But yes, 1 run coming off that first 3 deliveries of the innings. Isha Oza off strike, off the mark, but in very streaky fashion. It's Tirtha Satish, the left-hander, on strike for the first time today. There we go, Masalisa in your screen, on your frame. She's going to have work to do today. That off-spinner missed out with the bat after a fantastic player of the match performance yesterday against Hong Kong. Winnie Duray-Singham hasn't had the best of tournaments with the ball, but that could all change today. That's pitched up on the leg stump. Oh no, a leg stump half volley clipped away between mid-wicket and mid-on. So first boundary of the innings for Tirtha Satish and for the UAE. They're 5 for no loss with 2 deliveries left in the first over.
Yep, if Malaysia is looking forward to have a win in this game, they got to cut down these boundaries as well as try to attack into the batters more. Cannot be giving a lot of boundaries and losing it to them. Tirtha Satish on strike.
Down the leg side, Jishuvan, you were just talking about that. No boundaries, no bonus runs. And 2 bonus runs here for the UAE. That one slipping down the leg side, and they scamper through for an easy single.
Slight pressure on the skipper Winifred and Duray-Singham. 2 wides in this over. Keeping the strike now, Isha Oza. Another wide. Huge one for Winifred.
And we saw this yesterday as well. Winnie Duray-Singham conceding 15 in that first over against Hong Kong. Just struggling with that right-left opening partnership. And we see it yet again today.
Yep, at this moment, Winifred has to focus on the line and length. And you got to look into the key wickets that you need for today.
Look at that. Well-timed from Isha Oza. Not overhitting that, but a really good piece of work there as well. Looked like Masalisa running in from mid-on to cut that off.
Yep, a good diving, a great effort from Masalisa. And not denying one of the best players. She gives everything in the field, 200%. It's a do-or-die match for both the teams. And who's going to lift the cup today? UAE versus Malaysia. Both these teams have qualified already for the Asia Cup. So this is the deciding moment. The champion of this tournament, ACC Women's T20 Championship.
Yes, a great summary there from Jishuvan. So much at stake here. You win, and you win that trophy. Down the leg side again, Winnie D. You've got to do better than that. 10 off the first over. I'll tell you one thing, Jishuvan. After Hong Kong's strong start, I think the most of the crowd over here were predicting a Hong Kong win, including myself. So I'm not going to get too confident, not just yet, especially after Malaysia's stunning comeback yesterday.
Very true. The comeback they have given yesterday after the fifth over was mind-blowing. So, could we stand a chance to see something like that today? A 20-over match between both these teams. First innings only went for 100 runs scored by Malaysia, putting up a target of 101. Ten runs so far in the first over. Slightly expensive from Winifred today.
Yes, and not for the first time, unfortunately. Winnie D, the Malaysian skipper, sets a lot higher standards for herself. She won't be too happy with that. She's had a great tournament with the bat, though. 2 half-centuries for Winnie D in this tournament. Her first ever half-century, of course, coming in the Saudari Cup back in 2019, I believe, against Singapore, of course. And after this tournament, the men's national team for Malaysia will be in action at the Saudara Cup in Singapore. So keep your eyes peeled on our social media channels for more information on that tournament. But for now, it's Noor Dania, the off-spinner, into the attack from the other end. Tossed up a full toss and punished by Isha Oza. Easy pickings for Isha. Doesn't miss out on that. No fielder there at deep mid-wicket. That score for UAE now motoring along to 14 for none.
Yep. What is happening to the Malaysian bowlers? Not very likely to be done by Nurdania Shuada. She's a very good bowler and not a way to start with the first ball like this. She's got to do better. The whole nation is depending on this team for a victory. Can they deliver that successfully?
Tossed up, bang, to the same region, but a little more square. Only picks up a single. Elsa Hunter makes no mistake at deep mid-wicket.
You cannot make it easy for Isha Oza. She is not going to miss the opportunities. She scored 115 runs. We saw her taking a century easily. So you got to keep that in note. And also we have Tirtha Satish, the player of the match and the top run scorer for the under-19 tournament previously.
Jishuvan, mate, I'm going to make a prediction. I think Tirtha Satish is going to go towards or over square leg. Very leg side dominant player, unlike most left-handers you'll meet. Only started playing cricket around 2 or 3 years ago. And she's already in the UAE national team. She's got a bunch of half-centuries to her name as well.
She's having a look in the fielding positions before facing Nurdania Shuada.
Oh, tries to whip that away on the leg side. A bit of spin there for Nurdania.
You've got to keep yourself in the game, stay in the field, stay alert, and be focused on every delivery that you're giving. As the fielders, you got to walk in.
Oh, look at that, just slowing it up a tad. Good stuff from Nurdania, and maybe on that occasion, that could have been a change up there, perhaps a leg spinner there from Nurdania. We saw that from Suraksha Kote in the first innings. Just mixing it up. So a couple of important dot balls here for Malaysia. They have to string together more dots. There you go, that square leg region. We spoke of it just moments ago. Tirtha Satish, so strong in that region. This one just behind square on the leg side, pulled away. You cannot bowl short and on the leg stump to Tirtha Satish.
Yep, Nurdania was playing against UAE for the Malaysian team in the under-19 tournament. So I believe by now you would already know the batter's strength and weakness. You cannot bowl in such line and creating a room for the batters to play in the square leg region. It's a boundary for Tirtha Satish. Scored 8 runs so far from just 5 deliveries.
Here we go, 19 for no loss, the UAE. A very good start for them. 1 delivery left in the second over. That's watchfully played here from Tirtha Satish.
Yep, that's a good delivery from Dania Shoda. Good comeback, keeping the batter in a confused state to move to go front foot or to play a back foot punch. So that's a good close up for Nur Dania. And that ends the second over with just 19 deliveries, 19 runs, I beg your pardon, on the scoreboard for the UAE team. And Tirtha Satish, Isha Oza, the batters for the UAE.
Yep, well summed up, Jishuvan. 19 for 2. Tirtha Satish looking good. Isha Oza looking good. Malaysia, oof, maybe looking a little nervous. Those fans as well, they've gone a little bit quiet here at the Kinrara Oval. The very last international fixture to be played at this ground. A historic and emotional moment for everyone involved with Malaysian cricket over the years. But for now, third over in operation for Malaysia. Here we go. Straight down the ground and taken by the bowler, a caught and bowled. Big first wicket here for Malaysia. They celebrate. They're absolutely over the moon. They know this is a potentially massive moment in this game. Those Malaysian flags, look at that. Great camera work on your screen once again. Multiple Malaysian flags running across this outfield. Isha Oza, a dejected Isha Oza, misses out for the second day in a row, walking back to the dugout for 7 off 7.
I must say, great camera work, NJ. I love the boy who's carrying the flag and running around. He's been assigned to do a great job. From the start of the first innings, he has been running all over Kinrara ground with the flag. That's the spirit and that's the energy of the supporters. We have a huge number of crowd today. And not forgetting the bowler, Aisha Elisa, started off the first bowl and taken out Isha Oza, the main key wicket of the UAE team. So Isha Oza has to depart with just scoring 7 runs from 7 deliveries. Great work from Aisha Elisa.
Absolutely, Aisha Elisa. I don't think we saw her in operation yesterday. Winnie Dure Singham choosing to go with her spinners against Hong Kong to close things out. But what an absolutely massive wicket that was. I don't think that was a deliberate slower ball, but Isha Oza just assuming maybe it would come onto the bat a little quicker and faster. Nonetheless, Isha Oza playing that uppishly, paying the price, a cotton bowled. Ooh, in fact, on this occasion, this one hurrying onto the right-hander. So Aisha Elisa, she's got a little more enthusiasm, a little more gas. And Malaysia now with their tails up, they believe that they can win this final.
Yep, Aisha Elisa looks very pumped up and she's very aggressive about stopping the runs in this over. It's a good attitude from her. She's been waiting for this moment.
Pressure on the UAE, watchfully played by Kavisha. We say it over and over again, the UAE. So much depends on that top 3 of Isha, Tirtha and Kavisha. Of course, in this tournament, they're missing regular number 4, Chamani Senavaratne. I assume that is due to working duties, unable to make this trip. Malaysia, they're not going to mind that. Aisha Elisa with her tail up. Look at that. Good pace. A wicket and 3 dot balls off this over. That crowd getting so excited. There's small flags, large flags. Their children, their adults, teenagers, all packed into the Kinrara Oval right now. They know this is a potentially massive game for women's cricket in Malaysia. Wins over Kenya, wins over Hong Kong, coming in the last couple of months. Last few months for Malaysia. Pitched up. Aisha Elisa, brilliant first over from here. Just one delivery left. Jishuvan, can she close it out?
I believe it's possible for Aisha Elisa. That's her target in her mind, to restrict UAE in this over, not giving them a single run. She has started off well, taking a wicket. And let's see what happens in this last ball of her over.
Here we go. Last ball of the third over. Brilliant. A wicket maiden. Momentum swinging yet again here at the Kinrara Oval. The UAE 19 for 1 after 3.
Great work from Aisha Elisa. A maiden over, taking the wicket of Isha Oza. bringing back the momentum for the Malaysian team, building the confidence in a team, and also putting up a good result. So with that, 3 overs completed, 19 runs for the loss of one. And previously in the first innings, Malaysia was struggling in the power play. So we're having a second look to see what is UAE going to do in this power play with having Tita Satish on strike now.
Look at that, a shot of Winnie Duraisingam, that skipper. So happy with that first wicket. And now on your screens, Sasha Azmi. She turned that match by dismissing Carrie Chan against Hong Kong, getting her bowled off the final ball of the power play. Figures of 2 for 16 for Sasha Azmi yesterday. A crucial spell. There we go. That's whipped straight to Winnie at mid-on. So 7 consecutive dot balls here. UAE just struggling to find those runs in the last couple of minutes.
A good start for Sasha Azmi. Will she be able to take the wicket of Tirtha Satish?
Tossed up, bang, down the ground, a bit of a misfield. Oh, that was an incredibly risky run. A misfield from Sasha Azmi, just allowing the batters to get through. Jishuvan, imagine if she collected that ball.
Yep, if she would have collected it and directed the stumps, that is definitely a run out for the UAE team. And that would be a big breakthrough for the UAE.
All of you watching on YouTube, on Facebook, on the Crick Tracker website, hit up that comment section. I want you to make a prediction. Who is going to win this massive final? Sasha Azmi, the off spinner, so impressive. Tosses that up. She's driven through the offside. Oh, there's work to do here for backward point running after this. Fantastic. Fantastic there from Malaysia. They cut off the boundary. It's just 2 runs. Jashuvan, great piece of fielding.
Definitely. That's a great work from the fielders. Stopping the ball just before the boundary line. That is Dania Shuada. Great effort. And just giving 2 runs to UAE.
Mate, I have to say, fantastic energy from Malaysia today and throughout the tournament. They have shown up in this tournament. They deserve their space at the Asia Cup. Regardless of the result today, all Malaysian fans can be so proud of their national team. That's whipped away 2 mid-wicket. Aina Hamiza, a strong throw to back up that strong innings in the first half of the game.
Very true, Jay. So the ball is still with Sasha Azmi and taking the strike again, Tita Satish. Still a tough moment for Malaysia if Tita Satish is still in the center and getting ready to go for the next ball. So they got to look into this and try to create more opportunities of getting her out.
Tossed up, whipped away off the legs. It's just going to be a single. But that's just as important for the UAE. Just pick up those 1s and 2s as long as you're not playing too many dots. And of course, as long as you're not losing those wickets. Jashuvan, the UAE need a partnership.
Definitely. And speaking about that, I believe both these 2 batters can build that partnership, as we have been seeing in the past couple of games how UAE have been batting. So will they be able to build a big partnership for today to chase down the runs?
Oh, that's edged away. Work to do here for third man in the circle. Running back. Will she cut it off? Oh, yes. Not for the first time. Malaysia, they cut off the boundary, save another couple of runs. So just 2 runs to close out the 4th over. The UAE, 26 for 1. 7 runs coming off the 4th over.
Yep, a good cut off by Yusrina, stopping just before the boundary and saving Malaysia from giving extra runs to the UAE. So with that, we have completed 4 overs, 26 runs for the UAE team for the loss of 1. So at the moment, Kavisha has got 5 runs from 8 deliveries and Tirtha 10 runs from 9. And I believe the magnificent bowler is coming up again to bowl. That's Aisha Elisa, previously bowling, taking the wicket of Isha Oza and the maiden over. Here she goes again.
Yeah, that's a dot delivery to start off with. Again, Aisha Elisa, what an effort from her. The amount of confidence she has in her, it's amazing. Huge moment for both the teams in the finals. They cannot make any mistake. Here we go once again. Aisha Elisa, a dot delivery. What a bowling from her. I believe Aisha Elisa is making it tough for the batters to score runs against her. They have no clue of this bowler.
Look at that. Aisha Elisa. She's dragged Malaysia back in this contest. Oh, look at that slower delivery. This has been a fantastic spell from Aisha Elisa so far. Still not quite halfway through her spell in this innings, but you have to say she's made a big impact. That massive wicket of Isha Oza, arguably the best batter in this tournament. If you can get Isha Oza out, you are a good bowler, you are a good player, and you've made a huge contribution to your team. A 6-3 offside field. I'm not sure if this is the best move, but Aisha Elisa, look at that. She's put away in front to square on that leg side. We've said it before, we'll say it again. Isha Oza, I beg your pardon, Tirtha Satish, incredibly strong on that leg side. So if you pack your offside field, you have to bowl outside that off stump.
It's a good shot from Tirtha Satish, a boundary for her. She has finally fine-tuned the gap and being able to score against Aisha Elisa.
Yes, Winnie D, she has to do something about this. All of Tirtha Satish's boundaries, predictably, have come on the leg side. Tirtha Satish, of course, so young into her T20I career. It's not always easy to realize these things about her. That's driven, a bit of a misfield, but no harm done, no single conceded. A useful dot ball here for Aisha Elisa and for Malaysia.
Aisha Elisa could come back after the boundary.
And after that boundary, a deep mid wicket is also dropped to the boundary rope. So a bit of extra protection here for Aisha Elisa. Nonetheless, you cannot afford to be too straight to Tirtha Satish. That's on the leg stump. It is too straight. And it's another boundary. Second boundary, the over for Tirtha Satish. She moves on to 18 off 15. The score moves on to 34 for 1 after 5.
I must say that's a great shot from Tirtha Satish. Not having a second mind about it and just going attempt and attacking the ball and gets 8 runs in this over.
Mate Jishuvan, for a team like Malaysia who've been so good in this tournament, it may sound a little bit harsh, but that was a very poor over there from Aisha Elisa. Bowling to a 6-3 offside field. 2 short and 2 straight, put away in front to square on the leg side. 2 full, a leg stump half volley, clipped away to square leg. You cannot bowl 2 straight when you're bowling to a 6-3 offside field, especially when you're bowling to Tirtha Satish. Sasha Azmi on the legs, worked away to mid-on, a dot ball.
Sasha Azmi is back on action in her second over. Malaysia has got to do better, has to tighten up the fielding positions and be ready. Can they get another wicket here?
That's pushed away in front to square on the offside for a single.
Good diving effort.
It's a pretty simple equation here for the UAE. They require much less than 5 runs and over from here on out to chase this down. In fact, they only need 66 off the next 88 deliveries. Look at me doing quick math in the comm box. That's whipped away. Tirtha Satish with more runs there on the leg side. When are Malaysia going to learn you cannot bowl there to Tirtha Satish?
Yep, you got to check on your length again. And you cannot be making it easy for Tirtha Satish. She will never miss her opportunities. She would go all out for that, and knowing that the target is lower for them, so they would do everything they can.
On the leg stump, a wide delivery. So Malaysia just conceding the advantage once again to the UAE. That big wicket from Aisha Elisa in the third over. But since then, the UAE have rebuilt well. An unbeaten partnership of 17. Sasha Azmi looking for that second wicket. Tosses it up. Aina Hamiza at mid-on makes no mistake.
Kavisha having a tough time to rotate the wicket, to rotate the strike. Beg your pardon to Tita Satish. Up to the moment, 6 out of 10. That's a cheeky bowling from Sasha Azmi, a very close one. Could have gotten out Kavisha.
Sasha Azmi, of course, involved in that Under-19 World Cup qualifier before this tournament. So she's been playing a lot of cricket in the last couple of weeks, and you can see that improvement as well. Do not underestimate her spell of 2 for 16 against Hong Kong. She opened the floodgates with that initial wicket of Carrie Chan. And imagine that, a teenager, an under-19 player being entrusted with the responsibility of bowling the final power play over against Hong Kong, bowling against Mariko Hill, bowling against Carrie Chan. And she came up trumps. She's had a good tournament, Sasha Azmi. That's straight and defended straight back to Azmi. That's a dot ball to close out the power play. The UAE in control, 37 for 1 after 6.
Yep, speaking about that, Jay, as you said earlier, Sasha Azmi opened the gate for Malaysia against Hong Kong, taking the wicket of Carrie Chan. So she was the one who brought the change for Malaysia when Hong Kong was at 3 overs, 38 runs. When they scored that, and Sasha Azmi came into action and took the main key wicket of Hong Kong and just turned the table for Malaysia. And with that, we had Niknur Attila coming up to bowl. Also a person who, also she took 2 wickets against Hong Kong yesterday. So can these spinners make a change for Malaysia again today?
This is what I love about the Malaysian team of late. Players like Nikatila, Sasha Azmi, Ariana Natasha, will see her in action pretty soon as well. In the last couple of months, they've had a huge role to play in big victories for Malaysia and big performances as well from the Malaysian team. Malaysia, of course, batting out their overs against Sri Lanka at the Commonwealth Games qualifier. They went on to beat Kenya yesterday, beating Hong Kong, their biggest ever victory. The biggest victory in the history of female cricket in Malaysia. God, Jishuan, I've never seen so many tears, whether it's anguish or tears of happiness from both teams yesterday. And of course, Nepal and the UAE as well. So many tears shed in that semi-final day yesterday. Nikatila, full toss. That's been smacked too long on, but just a single.
Niknur Attila started off with a wide and then a full toss. She has got to look into that again. You have to be aware of the batters who's playing against you.
We've said this before, we'll say it again. Regardless of the result today, Malaysia can be very proud of their tournament. Malaysian women's cricket going from strength to strength. I was speaking to Mahinda Valipuram yesterday, and he said 99 schools playing female cricket in Malaysia right now. That's fantastic. 99 teams in that school competition. I'm definitely hoping Malaysia get up to that magical 100 figure. 99 schools. Ugh, just one more. Oh, playing a miss, playing over that one on this occasion. Kavisha Sharma, I'm sure she's realizing not a lot of bounce available on this Kinrara Oval track.
Yep, and that's much more better bowling from Niknur Attila, knowing to be a dangerous spinner, taking 2 wickets. Can she make it happen again today? Can she challenge the UAE batters?
Just imagine that, Jishuvan. According to the latest census, 1,000 female cricketers at the age group level, at the school level, I beg your pardon, played cricket for Malaysia.
Once again, dot delivery from Kavisha. She has faced 15 deliveries and scored 6 only so far.
Here we go, 39 for 1. 2 deliveries left in the 7th over. Pushed, and pushed well by Kavisha. Playing that drive while walking at it as well. Very elegant. Down to long off for a single.
Yep, and also a couple of overthrows and misfield we can see in the Malaysian side. You got to stop that and definitely reduce that to a minimum, because as for now the UAE have already chased down 40 runs for the loss of 1. So another 61 runs to win this game. You got to be very careful.
The left-handed Tirtha Satish goes leg side once again. There's work to do here for long on. She gets around. And it's just going to be the single. The UAE, they don't mind. That's all they need. That brings the 7th over to a close. The UAE absolutely bossing this encounter here at the Kinrara Oval. They're 41 for 1 after 7.
At the moment, Kavisha 7 runs from 17 deliveries, and Tirtha Satish is still rocking in the middle. 21 runs from 18, leading the UAE team after the depart of Isha Oza at the very early stage of the second innings. So the hope of UAE is on Tirtha Satish at the moment. So with that, we have Sasha Azmi to come up and bowl again.
Here we go, Sasha Azmi over the wicket to Tirtha Satish. Still a 6-3 offside field. Is that the right move? Oh, there we go. That's pierced the gap between cover and extra cover. Runs down to that extra cover fence for 4. Great to see another boundary here for Tirtha Satish. Her first boundary through the offside and her 4th boundary in total. That UAE total now going on to 45 for 1. We're 1 delivery into the 8th over.
Tirtha Satish is on form today. She has punched through that for a boundary. And Sasha Azmi, on the other hand, looking forward to restrict Tirtha Satish. It's another wide delivery. Too many extras from the Malaysian side today. Looks like a pressure building up in them, not allowing them to focus. You just got to let the pressure go and play your game.
That's punched straight into the covers. A useful dot ball here for Malaysia. And Jishuvan, I have to say, they need a lot more dot balls, Malaysia.
Yep, a good comeback for Sasha Azmi. You just got to be confident again, like how you play against Hong Kong yesterday. And with that confidence, it will definitely be possible.
You cannot bowl there, though. Lucky to get away with that one. And lucky that there's a deep mid-wicket in place as well. So just a single to Tirtha Satish. She moves on to 26 off 21. We're halfway through the 8th over. The score now 47 for 1. Look at this. Sasha Azmi into her 3rd over. She's conceded 16 runs so far. A big spell against Hong Kong yesterday, 2 for 16.
So Tirtha Satish and Kavisha building a partnership in the center. It's a good comeback for Sasha. A dot ball. For the 7 at the moment for the UAE team.
Oh, doesn't get all of that, Kavisha. Kavisha, of course, she's 8 of 19 now, still looking for her first boundary. But the UAE dugout, no. as long as Tirtha Satish is going strong from the other end. If you're Kavisha Sharma, you will catch up. Just stick in there, build that partnership. Nothing fancy needed.
Yep, definitely well said, Jay, because at the moment, Tirtha and Kavisha is doing a great job in the middle, having a good communication and building a good partnership. So you don't have to try anything fancy with that. The last ball bowled by Sasha ends as a dot delivery. And even after the wicket fall, both these batters are doing a brilliant job. Looking at this run rate, I think it will be still, very much possible for the UAE to chase this down, maybe before the 20 overs ends. And on the other hand, what is Malaysia looking up to do? How can they get more wickets of the UAE?
Mate, Jashuvan, I wish I had an easy answer for you. But I really loved that energy in the first over from Aisha Elisa. The second over, however, on the legs far too often and put away for a pair of boundaries. Oh, there you go. Not quite getting that once again. Down too long on for a single.
I think at the moment what Kavisha is trying to do is that just trying to rotate the strike, just go for the singles and keep Tirtha on strike. As of Tirtha is seen to be the attacking batter now, and Kavisha is actually backing her up. So with that, after the single taken, Tirtha is back on strike. 26 runs scored from 22 deliveries. There you go. Another shot from Tirtha. Will that be? Yes, it is cut off to the boundary. What a shot from Tirtha Satish. And the UAE team is screaming out her name, Tirtha, Tirtha. That's away. What a shot from her. So confident and elegant, going against Niknur Attila. And that's 53. They have crossed 50 runs, UAE. So at the moment now they have touched 53 runs for the loss of 1. And UAE is chasing up. And there you go. Another one there. Will that be cut off? Yes. Good effort from the Malaysian fielder. I believe that's Dania Shuada. Good stop. Tirtha Satish at the moment 31 runs from 24 delivery. Kavisha is back on strike. Trying to cut that away, not looking into the gap, and this ends to be a dot ball. Good effort. Good effort from Intan Jamahidayu. Much better thinking from the bowler Niknur Attila. Piling up the dot balls. It's up in the air. Will that be taken? What a catch! What a catch from Elsa Hunter! That's a round of applause. What a catch it is from Elsa Hunter, running and putting her hands out in the air and taking the catch. Amazing, Elsa Hunter.
Oh my word, that's got to be one of the best catches of the tournament. The anticipation, the speed towards the ball, just sticking those buckets out, making no mistake. And hey, you know what, Jishuan? I think we still have a game on here at the Kinrara Oval. 47 needed off 66 deliveries. But the UAE, they've lost Isha Oza and now they've lost Kavisha Sharma. So much rests on the shoulders, the young shoulders of teenager Tirtha Satish, the left-hander who's still at the crease. And it remains to be seen who walks in at number 4. Punch of the gloves there. Kavisha Sharma walking in at number 4 yet again. And we've said this before in this innings and we'll say it again. Jishuvan, the UAE, need a partnership.
Definitely, and Tirtha Satish cannot be a lone ranger in the center wicket. She definitely needs to build a good partnership. So we have Kavisha Sharma coming in now, and recalling back to that catch again, I would say that's not an easy catch. Even it was me, maybe I would have dropped that. I don't know, but good effort from Elsa Hunter, bringing back the energy into the Malaysian team. So we are back in the game, Malaysia versus UAE. Kushi Sharma is already back in the center, and she will be taking the strike, keeping Tirtha Satish on the non-strikers end. Sasha Azmi.
Here we go, Sasha Azmi. Can she pick up Malaysia's third wicket? Not on this delivery, but it's an important dot ball.
Yep, I would say at this moment, even UAE is halfway through, but there's still chances for Malaysia to restrict down UAE if there's not too many extras or misfields are coming. And as I say, misfield, that was luckily stopped by Intan. If not, those two batters would be taking a single by now.
Absolutely. We didn't see Intan with the bat. She wasn't required. A strong partnership there of 53 unbeaten between Ariana Natasha and Aina Hamiza, getting Malaysia up to exactly 100 runs. And now making a mini comeback with the ball, Sasha Azmi hasn't taken a wicket. The teenaged off-spinner has only conceded 17 runs in her 3.3 overs. Make no mistake, Sasha Azmi, she's one to watch for the future for Malaysia. That's tossed up on the leg stump. Great control once again from Sasha Azmi. Just a single too long on.
We are close to halfway through of the second innings. And Tirtha Satish is back on strike. They have kept her away for long, giving her a break. So with Kushi Sharma in to partner up with her, she's taking the strike now. She's having a look at the fielding position. And Sasha Azmi to continue her over. Good stop there by Intan once again, stopping the singles. At this moment, even singles are crucial for Malaysia. So you got to stop the singles, and very importantly, another wicket has to be taken for Malaysia. That's up in the air. Oh, that's a missed opportunity. There's one bounce away from the fielder, Nurdania. That was an opportunity for Malaysia. Sasha Azmi wouldn't be happy about it. Telling you viewers, if that wicket was taken, it's a game changer for Malaysia. You cannot drop such catches. So with that, 10 overs have been completed. UAE, 55 runs for the loss of 2. What a match it has been so far. Both the teams are giving 100% in the field and going all out. And on the other hand, UAE team, as I was walking past their dugout earlier, they brought the under 19 World Cup qualifiers trophy with them. As of I believe they are waiting to get this trophy also, and they want to celebrate. But yet, we are still in this game. We are not sure what's going to happen in the next 10 overs. Will UAE secure this win, or Malaysia is going to lift up the trophy for today? So at the moment, Tirtha Satish, 32 runs from 26 delivery, and Kushi Sharma faced 4 deliveries and scoring just 1 run.
45 runs required in last 60 deliveries. 8 wickets in hand. Tirtha Satish, 32 of 26 deliveries. Her wicket is very important for Malaysia. If Malaysia to win, they need wickets.
Yep, well said, Yusri. The only way Malaysia can win at this moment, halfway through, is by taking a more number of wickets. The main here is Tirtha Satish, as she is still on fire, and she won't be making mistakes all the time. She is aware of the drop catch that has been done by Malaysia earlier. So this time she's going to be much more careful, and Malaysian bowlers, you have to be bowling a tight lineup to her. There you go, over the fielder. Will that be stopped? Just 2 easy runs taken.
Jeshwan, the only question is whether UAE will take the 2-in-2 trophies, a 19 and this
ACC,
championship as well, or whether Malaysia, this women's team, can end it up their series and their home last game in a high. Say goodbye to this lovely venue, home ground. That's a boundary, 4 runs to Tirtha Satish.
Yep, you cannot both such delivery to Tirtha Satish, and another easy boundary for Tirtha. So as you were saying, Yusri, this is the last international match for the women's team. As of they got to be, all the whole nation, the crowd is waiting for them to come out victorious in this match, being the champions in this finals. At the same time, it's also for UAE. They are looking forward to lift up 2 trophies, the under-19 and also this ACC women's T20 women's championship. So who's going to lift the trophy today? And that's a good comeback for Nignur Attila, a dot ball to be faced by Tirtha Satish. Not giving much of a room there for her. That's a huge wide. You cannot give such an extra to the UAE. Nignur Attila, you got to relax, calm down, breathe, and do better. 16 runs given so far by Nignur Attila, checking 1 wicket. 2.3 overs, economy of 6.4. Slightly flighted shot by Tirtha Satish, just going for a single.
And a familiar story here for Tirtha Satish. The vast majority of her runs in this innings have come to the leg side. So strong off her hips, so strong off the back foot. If you're too full, leg stump half volleys, she will eat you up for breakfast, Tirtha Satish.
The good thing about this, the under-19 player, Tirtha Satish, she's very well with the bat and also with the gloves. Not forgetting, she has done a good work with the gloves earlier in the first innings.
Oh, run out chance here. Ooh, goes back just in time there, Kavisha Sharma. Had she been more committed to that run, could have been 3rd wicket down here for the UAE. Great to see so many men's nationals players. I beg your pardon. Men's national players in at the Kinrara Oval. Full toss there, lowish full toss. This could be a boundary, work to do. Oh, look at that. Malaysia, not for the first time. They cut off another 2 runs.
And saving that is definitely Mas Alisa, the electrifying fielder, just cutting that off and stopping just before the boundary line, diving and sliding in to stop the runs coming up for the UAE.
What a player she is, Mas Alisa, saving more runs in the field. And Jishwan, I know you remember that 6 that sailed over that deep mid-wicket boundary yesterday. Probably the shot of the tournament and quite possibly the biggest 6 we've seen so far.
Yep, not forgetting the 6 that she hit against Hong Kong. I was expecting her to do something like that today, but very unfortunate with the bat. And I think she's just giving a good comeback, and to make things better, she's showing, her maximum in the field when it comes to her responsibility to stop the ball just before the boundary line. So she's delivering it very well. So Dania Shwada is back with the ball again.
Turns that into a full toss. That's a misfield. Commentators curse there. We were praising the fielding from Malaysia. But that fielder at mid-wicket lets it go through her legs, and it goes to that deep mid-wicket boundary. So that's just not good enough here from Malaysia. It sounds like we're being too critical Perhaps. But there's no point patronizing a team like Malaysia. They've had a fantastic tournament. Make no mistake, Malaysia is a good team. That, however, was not very good. 4 bonus runs conceded by Malaysia. That equation shrinking even further for the UAE. 31 needed of 53 deliveries with 8 wickets in hand. Tirtha Satish moves on to 43 off 31. 7 boundaries, 8 boundaries in her innings. And you might just make that number 9. Absolutely. Back-to-back boundaries here for the left-handed Tirtha Satish. And guess what? She continues to pepper that leg side field. And Winnie Duraisingam, you've got to do more to protect that leg side.
Yep, and Tirtha is already moved up to 43 runs from just 31 deliveries, 7 runs away from her half century. I believe batting in this pace, she would be able to complete that.
And Jishuvan, what do you think of the move to not introduce Marcelisa into the attack just yet?
Yep, I think that it's it's time already to bring Marcelisa now, because there's no point saving it for later.
Oh, that's been edged away down to third man. She's looking for 2. If she can get 3, that'll be her 50. No, she can't. So she's going to be on 49. But wow, what an innings here from Tirtha Satish. 49 of 33. Strike rate has been fantastic, but it hasn't looked like an agricultural or ultra aggressive innings. That's the great thing about Tirtha Satish. She gets a loose ball, she puts it away. Just that simple. A change of angle now coming around the wicket, the off spinner. Oh, getting a bit of turn as well on that one. Tirtha Satish looking for that single to get to 50. That single not available on this occasion.
Tirtha Satish at the moment 49 from 33 deliveries, and Kavisha Sharma 3 from 6. So Dania Shwara to bowl to her. This is another dot delivery. Would be happy to see if this would be coming up earlier itself to stop both the boundaries for Tirtha Satish.
Here we go. She's counting the number of fielders on the leg side. So are we. It's a 5-4 offside field. You cannot bowl 2 straight. There we go. That's through the offside. And a fantastic innings in the final by Tirtha Satish. 50 off 36. A high quality knock. She raises the bat, the dugout. They appreciate it. 9 boundaries coming in this 50 from Tirtha Satish. Well done to the teenage left-hander. I'm rejoined in the comm box at a great time by none other than Yusri Rauf. Yusri, what a century. Apologies, what a half century.
Brilliant knock. 36 deliveries, 59 boundaries. What a calculated innings that was. There were 2 early wickets down, but Tirtha continued what she is best at. Good partnership, 23 runs partnership of 18 deliveries.
And now 24 needed of 8 overs at exactly 3 runs and over. Tirtha Satish on strike right now. Like Yusri said just now, 50 off 36. Winnie Duraisingam into the attack. That's down the leg side. She did that far too often in that first over. I believe she leaked 10 runs in that first over.
Yes, Jay, Malaysia can't afford these kind of extra runs. Just another 23 more runs required. They need a couple of early wickets.
A change of angle. Winnie D coming around the wicket now, trying to close out that angle. That's on the off stump. It's driven. Good bit of work there in the infield. Just a single. Tirtha Satish, the dominant partner, 51 off 37. Kavisha Sharma, the right-hander, the tall, elegant right-hander in at number 4. Ooh, Yusri, looks like perhaps we have a bit of an injury there.
Yep, Aina seems like hit her face down while she was diving that for that delivery.
Concerning scenes here at the Kinrara Oval, I think the fielder should be fine. We're not entirely sure as to the nature of this injury. We'll get you an update as soon as possible.
I believe that while she was diving, she hit her face down the ground. So she probably went a little bit unconscious for a little while.
It could be a small niggle in the neck. But at this stage, we can't comment too much on the nature of the injury. It doesn't look too concerning. There's no stretcher that has been called for on the field. And it certainly looks like some sort of an upper body injury. We'll get confirmation on that as soon as possible, of course. But of course, if you're just joining us, we're going to sum up this game real quick. Malaysia, they won the toss. They decided to bat first. A score of 22 for 2 in the power play for them. They lost both Masalisa and Winnie Duresingham early. It looked like they were recovering. Then Elsa Hunter was dismissed. Juan Julia was dismissed. Yet again, it looked like UAE's game. But a 53-run partnership in 55 balls by Aina Hamiza and Ariana Natasha. Absolutely massive. It brought Malaysia back into the game, of course. Brought Malaysia back into the game. They posted 100 for 4. Yes, in reply to 100 for 4, Tirtha Satish, 51 off 37, 9 boundaries in her innings. Really, really good innings this from the left-hander. She's peppered that leg side boundary over and over again. And in fact, it does look like the stretcher is coming out. I hope this is just a precautionary move here from the Malaysians. But yes, in this final of the ACC Women's T20 Championship, they're playing for the trophy here, the UAE and Malaysia. They've both qualified for the final. And this game being played for the trophy. Make no mistake, given the scoreline on your screens, it's not too far-fetched to say that the UAE are in firm control of this contest. And if you're wondering why the players have taken a bit of a break, the fielder there from Malaysia just going down, a slight injury. And yes, she's being carried off the field. I hope it's something minor, something like cramps.
Jay, UAE had a nervous times yesterday in the semi-finals, and they came back very strong. They have played as a champion and executed their plans perfectly. 22 more runs to victory in 47 deliveries, 8 wickets in hand.
Malaysia needs something so dramatic, even more dramatic than what happened against Hong Kong yesterday. I have to say though, interesting field set. There's a massive gap there between long on and deep mid wicket. Huge areas for Kavisha Sharma to exploit in case Winnie Duresingham just misses her line. We have a square leg and a fine leg in the circle. Also in the circle, third man, backward point and an extra cover. We've got a deep cover in position as well as a long on and long off. That's squeezed to that fielder at long on. Just a single from Kavisha Sharma. Her score moves on to 4 off 7. And Yusri with Tirtha Satish at the other end. You don't need to do anything extravagant.
And she has performed really well. Just has to play around and take the UAE above the line. 21 more runs.
That's pitched up, driven. Good stop there by that fielder in the cover region. That fielder in the cover region just disappointed that nobody was backing up behind the stumps. Decided not to shy at the stumps. Yusri, shy at the stumps. Why not? There's nothing to lose if you're Malaysia. You need those wickets.
Exactly. There's nothing to lose at this point. 21 more runs, 8 wickets in hand. For Malaysia, they need wickets.
That's driven down to long on for a single. Great balance at the crease from Tirtha Satish. She's so strong hitting through that leg side.
If you're Malaysia to win, you need wickets. You cannot defend this target bowling 20 overs for UAE. Then very much winning position. To change this, they need early wickets, 2 to 3 wickets in an over minimum.
You hit the nail on the head there. 2 or 3 wickets in and over as a bare minimum to claw their way back into this contest. At this point, it looks like formalities for the UAE. Just 20 runs needed now. Guess who's on strike? Apologies, 19. And Tirtha Satish drives that down to long off, making it 18 needed off the last 7 overs. The UAE, 83 for 2 after 13.
Jay, for UAE, there's nothing much to do. Just play simple cricket. Play around. Nothing fancy. Win it big with the 8 wickets in hand. 18 more runs to win. Masalisa with the ball. Can she drag this game to the end?
Mate, Yusri, I think it's a little too late. Masalisa had to be introduced into the attack a lot earlier. Sasha Azmi, the teenage off-spinner. Very, very impressive in this innings. She fought hard. And with all due respect to someone like Noor Dania, she's had a good tournament. She's made her contributions. But Masalisa, at least in my opinion, prior to the tournament, was Malaysia's premier spinner. We haven't seen Ariana Natasha either. So interesting here from Winnie Dure Singham. That's a wide delivery from Masalisa. Yusri, what do you think? Masalisa, should she have been bowling earlier?
Exactly. When Malaysia, only way if they have to win was taking wickets. So you need to bring your wicket-taking bowlers early on, not to keep them until late.
See, what was so impressive about Masalisa yesterday is how she bowled at the death of the innings. The figures don't tell the full story. 2 overs, none for 12. You think, okay, that's a decent day at the office. But no. Hong Kong, they needed 8.5 and over. They needed 10 runs, 12, 20 runs and over. But Masalisa just never gave them the boundaries. She played a crucial role, not just with the bat, but with the ball. And it takes real skill for anyone, let alone a spinner, to close out the innings in a high-pressure contest, conceding just 6 runs and over at the death.
Jay, looks like Malaysia messed up the tactics today. That's probably due to the big game playing the finals.
Mate, I can guarantee you, regardless of the result, Malaysia are going to celebrate tonight. They're into the Asia Cup. Kavisha Sharma smacks that to deep mid-wicket. Aina Hamiza cleans up and it's just a single.
Exactly. It wasn't not even 24 hours they have been qualified to the Asia Cup. It's a big feat for these women's and the Malaysian cricket as a whole.
Punched away. Work to do there for deep cover. It's just a single. Yusri, I want to put you on the spot for a minute. What has been, in your opinion, the top individual performance of the tournament so far? Oh, dot ball there. Masalisa, so good at finding that block hole.
There were a couple of performances from Malaysia side.
That's a good bit of work there, Kavisha Sharma. Just ticking things along very nicely for the UAE. Another single for them. And at the end of the 14th over, the UAE are 89 for 2. They need 12 off the last 6 overs at exactly 2 runs and over. Yes, absolutely. You're right. Some good individual performances from Malaysia in this tournament so far. In terms of all teams, I have to go with Isha Oza's century against Qatar. Very impressive. Mariko Hill as well, her 45 not out of 32 against Nepal. Don't just go by that score. She broke the back of a chase against Nepal in that game. Such a crucial knock for Hong Kong from Mariko Hill. I like Mariam Bibi as well against Kuwait, 4 wickets, dragging things back from Hong Kong. For Hong Kong, I beg your pardon. Mariam Omar for Kuwait. Oh, that squeezed away, run out chance. Oh, direct hit, that's out. Well done, Winnie Duray-Singham. Maybe a little bit of hope here for Malaysia. Oh my word, that's the massive wicket of Tirtha Satish, the left-handed opener. Scoring a half century in this innings, but she's going to have to walk back to the dugout. Yusri Rauf, is this an opening for Malaysia?
Malaysia cannot be resting, taking a wicket, because just 12 more runs, 7 wickets in hand. Cricket is a funny game. You never know until the last ball bowled. But UAE, nothing fancy. Just 12 runs, just play off. Tirtha Satish has done her part. She had played 55 runs of 42. More than half of the score that Malaysia scored. Yes, she has taken a part and departs after a beautiful innings. And the captain of UAE, Chaya Mughal, walks into the middle. Talking about the performance, how can I forget about Ashmina Karmacharia's bowling performance yesterday? 5 wickets.
Oh mate, how did I forget about that performance? Oh my word. That had to be the best spell of the tournament. And of course what followed afterwards as well. It was quite heartbreaking for Nepal. But nonetheless, yes, I think that was definitely the best bowling performance of the tournament. But you're right, the quality of cricket on show, not just batting and bowling, but the fielding as well. Mariam Omar, in my opinion, has to be the fielder of the tournament. My word, those strong throws from the deep, the anticipation, her energy in the field, her catching. Ooh, that one keeping very, very low on the new batter at the crease. Skipper Chaya Mughal, the UAE skipper, walks to the middle and says, I want to finish this off. This responsibility belongs to me. I'm the skipper. I'm going to do it.
Jay, again, captain against the captain.
You're absolutely right. And UAE captain winning this battle so far, because the Malaysian captain, Winnie Duray-Singham, has conceded yet another wide delivery. With a new batter at the crease, you've got to do better than that, Winnie D.
Yeah, forgettable day for Winnie D today. Getting out for a duck.
That's much better. And Winnie D, of course, just maybe opening a bit of a gate here, opening a bit of a doorway for Malaysia. Fantastic direct hit to get rid of Tirtha Satish. Well done. Winnie Duray-Singham won that title, of course, at the Fairbreak Invitational with the Tornadoes. Took 7 wickets for them in that tournament. That's been guided away. Good bit of work there. Oh, here we go. Second run out of the innings. Malaysia, are we seeing yet another dramatic comeback? Look at the crowd. They're absolutely ecstatic. They still believe there's a chance for victory here at the Kinrara Oval.
Jay, there was a mix-up in the middle. Yes, no. That made Chaya stuck in the middle. And she was not sure what to do, whether to run back or run forward.
Yes, disappointing there, hesitation. Chaya Mughal, you can see that wide view, punches the gloves with Priyanjali Jain, UAE veteran. Priyanjali Jain, she's been around for a while in international cricket, walks to the middle right now. She walks in at number 5. The score is 90 for 3 with two deliveries left in the 15th over. The UAE, they only need another 11 runs to win. But 2 quick wickets have fallen for the UAE, of course. There's work left to do for the UAE. The job is simple. Massive real estate there in the leg side. Just chip it to the onside, get a single, get off strike, get off the mark. I'm okay with that, Priyanjali Jain. Watchfully played. Plenty of time left in this chase.
So 2 runouts came in this over. 15 overs, 90 runs for 4 wickets. Now the 11 more runs required. 30 deliveries to go. 6 wickets in hand. They need few more wickets for Malaysia. They need to get them all out. Else, UAE winning easily. Meanwhile, as soon as when Julia took that bells off, Chaya was kept looking at Kushi. So Kushi has to make sure she will be in the middle and finish it off for UAE. Else, she gonna get some earful from Chaya.
Absolutely. Like we said, second run out of the innings. Oh, that's whipped away. That's whipped away. Well done. Kavisha Sharma picks up that single. Yes, other than the running between the wickets, the smart thing from Kavisha Sharma, she knows nothing extravagant is needed. Just pick up those singles. She's a very, very talented batter. We haven't seen the best of her in international cricket so far. Hasn't received much of an opportunity, to be fair, with UAE's strong top three. Tirtha, Isha, Kavisha. They're all back in the dugout now. Oh, that's a big appeal. It's a big appeal and it's given. Here we go. The UAE, they've lost half their side. They still need another 10 runs to win. Masalisa with that massive wicket. Malaysia, they never say die. They're still in this contest.
Now Malaysia play like a Tigers. Yes, nothing to lose. Play hard till the last ball. Fight it hard. That's their theory. 10 more runs to win. 5 wickets in hand. Masalisa making the way.
This is exactly why I keep saying Malaysia, regardless of the result, can be so proud of their tournament. So many players stepping up for the hosts. So many players stepping up for Malaysia.
They wanted to end this series high and bid farewell for this very venue, their home for 19 years. They wanted to say bye in a high note. They will not leave easily. 5 more wickets. Masalisa taking her first wicket today for 7 runs.
The good news for the UAE is they still have capable batters left. Samaira Darni Darka, I beg your pardon, has a reputation for being a big hitter. Vaishnavi Mahesh, it's quite possible that she walks in at number 8 if the UAE lose another wicket. But yes, the UAE do have capable batters, make no mistake about that. But Masalisa making things so tough for them. Here we go, the off spinner. That's left alone. No, Masalisa. Wide delivery. Every single run so crucial at this juncture of the game. You cannot afford to give away free runs. Can Masalisa make that correction? Much better pushed into the offside. More pressure here on the UAE. Samaira Darni Darka. She's itching to get off the mark. Faced 1 legal delivery so far. Oh, a bit of a leading edge. Nervous moments continue here for the UAE. Both yesterday and today, their batting hasn't looked very convincing at all.
As you said, Jay, UAE, after losing the top 3 wickets, they are struggling with that middle order. They don't have a lot of experience there. They have a good batting lineup, but they have tested first time yesterday. And today, also they are showing that bit of inexperience in the middle. 9 more runs required.
And we have 6 fielders in the circle. Look at that, leaves that alone. Samaira Darni Darka does not want to risk getting an outside edge. 92 for 5 after 16. 9 runs still needed for the UAE. 5 wickets needed for Malaysia. Make no mistake, the game is still alive here at the Kinrara Oval. The drama continues at the ACC Women's T20 Championship. The UAE and Malaysia, the 2 finalists today, they've already made it to the Asia Cup. They will face India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Thailand in a 7-team event at the Asia Cup. Congratulations to both teams, but make no mistake, they're going to want to get those hands on that ACC Women's T20 Championship trophy driven down the ground. Oh, Samaira, where are you going? Good thing she turned back. Another dot ball here for Malaysia.
Yeah, Samaira, need to be focused. No need those risky runs. Just 9 runs of 23 deliveries.
Right now it's 9:15 a.m. in the United Arab Emirates. Whether you're watching from Dubai, Fujairah, Abu Dhabi, Ajman, you wanted a misfield. You wanted Kavisha Sharma to get through for a single there. The countdown has begun for the UAE. 8 runs needed, but they've been losing wickets at regular intervals. 4 quick wickets now for Malaysia. They're hitting back, and they're hitting back strong in this contest. They're not out of it.
Yeah, they need to look into taking more wickets. 8 more runs. Not any hard task.
Pushed. Oh, a clean pickup. I think the batters would have just about made their crease anyway.
If UAE gonna play 20 overs, it will be a walk in the park for them, winning from here. So for Malaysia, they need wickets. Keep fighting.
Tossed up. And a dot ball into the cover region. So no runs, no boundaries. That's the story in the last couple of minutes, the last 10 or 15 minutes for the UAE.
Winnie has come back strongly after that first over, giving 10 runs. Only 8 runs given in innings.
Much better here from Winnie. Tosses it up with that round arm action. Another dot ball. Look at the crowd. They're really getting into it. The dugout, they're getting into it. We have a lot of players from various teams in here at the Kinrara Oval. They're checking out the finale of this tournament. 8 runs needed. 19 deliveries tossed up. That's defended square on the offside. A quick single. They get through. A little bit of relief, a little bit of respite for the UAE to close out the 17th over. 94 for 5. 7 needed off 18.
Samaira finally opens her account in the 8th delivery with that quick single. 18 more deliveries.
Here we go, Malaysian Vice Captain Marcelisa, the all-rounder, right-hander, right arm off spinner. What a player she is, one of Malaysia's finest. Look at that, you can see her on your screen just setting that field as she usually does, bowling with that cap on. She's gone mid-off and mid-on, both up in the circle. Winifred Duray-Singham and Ariana Natasha, the fielders. Work to do here for deep mid-wicket. She cuts it off. But the UAE with a very, very useful single.
Yeah, Malaysia easily 20 runs short when they batted. And they have given a good fight afterwards. They have dragged this game beyond 17 overs. The way UAE started in the first 10, looked like the game is over by 13 or 14
Oh,
overs.
a big inside edge on that one. A thick inside edge, I beg your pardon. And a single to fine leg. The countdown has begun. 5 runs needed now for the UAE. They have 5 wickets in hand. With every single that the UAE score, the chances for Malaysia winning this game reduced dramatically. Turns that into a full toss. Almost. Look at that. Run out chance. Yet another single, a streaky single on this occasion.
She was a bit late to move on to get that catch. 5 more runs required. Or 4 runs required. Marcelisa.
15 balls left. 4 needed. That's punched off the back foot. It's going to be a dot ball. The UAE, they don't mind. A lot of time still left in this contest.
Can get a couple of wickets here to turn the game on for Malaysia.
A 5-4 offside field, mid-on and mid-off in the circle. Too short. Oh, that one keeping low. Look at that. That's been a feature today on this pitch. The ball just keeping a little bit low, not quite getting up. It's still been a very good batting wicket for both batting teams. Credit to the curators. Credit to the ground staff here at the Kinrara Oval. Big shot. Is this the winning shot? No, not quite. It goes over mid-on. They come back for 2. Well done, UAE. Well done, Kavisha Sharma. Kavisha Sharma has not panicked. She's 12 off 21. And that brings the 18th over to a close. 99 for 5, the UAE.
Jay, 2 more runs required in 2 overs to go. And not to forget, 13 wide deliveries given. 13 wides.
Absolutely, I hate to say it, but Winifred Duraisingam, the Malaysian skipper, one of the primary offenders on that occasion. Nonetheless, a brilliant tournament for Winnie Duraisingam with the bat. A brilliant tournament for Malaysia. And of course, the UAE all set to end this tournament undefeated. On strike, can she hit the winning run? Samaira Darnidarka. 12 deliveries left. 2 runs needed. Malaysia, they need an improbable 5 wickets to cause a major upset here at the Kinrara Oval. The home side, they fought very, very hard. 5 fielders in on the offside in the circle. Aisha Elisa playing a miss.
Aisha Elisa bowled 2 overs for 8 runs, taking on wicket.
Here we go. 2 runs needed off 11 deliveries for the UAE. It's going to be yet another milestone in the history of UAE women's cricket. They won the ICC T20 World Cup Asia qualifier last year, and they're going to win the Asia Cup qualifier as well. Apologies, of the World Cup Asia qualifier last year. So that regional qualifier, they won the trophy there. They're going to win this trophy as well. Absolutely massive here. Look at that, Samaira Darnidarka. She knows there's a bit of a gap there on the leg side. The fielders on the leg side back on the circle. Aisha Elisa tosses it up. That's driven. It's going to be a single. Just 1 run left to win.
Scores are level. Yes, UAE has made 1 under-19 Cup trophy just a couple of weeks back. 2-2 for them.
Absolutely, the UAE under-19s, they qualified for that under-19 World Cup. The UAE flag is ready. The UAE dugout is ready. A quick single. Are they going to get through? Yes, you better believe it. The UAE, the players storm the outfield. UAE flags are flying right now. Kavisha Sharma, well done. Undefeated on 13. Samaira Darnidarka on 4. A massive win for the UAE. They've already qualified for the Asia Cup, but now they lift the trophy here on finals day at the ACC Women's T20 Championship. What a victory for the UAE. Yusri Rauf, how impressed are you with this outfit?
Brilliant performance by both the teams. Yes, it's not the day for Malaysia, but they can keep their heads high. They have qualified for the Asia Cup by beating Hong Kong yesterday, and not a day that went on their way today. Just managed to score 100, and they came back strongly to bowl and try to keep the UAE dragged down to the 19th over.
Absolutely, Malaysia fighting so hard. Winnie Duraisingam, you can see on her screens, appreciating that crowd support, shaking hands with all her support staff. Look at that, head coach Cody, a very influential figure in Malaysian cricket. Very influential figure in this team. Good stuff here from Malaysia, finishing as runners-up in this tournament. But more importantly, get through to that Asia Cup. Action against full member countries coming up for Malaysia. But the UAE on your screens, look at that. Brilliant performance. One of the stumps being taken by Najib Umar, the former Hong Kong left-arm spinner and head coach of the UAE. Fantastic job he's done. What a turnaround for UAE female cricket. Najib Amar and Chaya Mughal, they've built something special along with everyone else at the Emirates Cricket Board. Everyone who's been committed to the growth of cricket in the Emirates and committed to growth of women's cricket in the United Arab Emirates. Look at them. They're appreciating the crowd. The crowd wasn't even there to support the United Arab Emirates explicitly, but they've added to this atmosphere. They've made this a special atmosphere and a special occasion here at the Kinrara Oval.
You can see both the teams are together appreciating the crowd. Not only UAE, along with the Malaysian women's. That's a good work over there, appreciating all the viewers who came to their home where they're going to bid farewell after 19 years. 19 years it's been a home for Malaysian cricket, and with that Malaysia bid farewell and say bye to the home and move on to a new venue from here on. Yes, they will be traveling in October to Bangladesh to take part in the Asia Cup.
Absolutely. We're going to sum up this match for you. Look at that team card. Look at that batting card. 7 off 7 for Isha Oza, dismissed early by Aisha Elisa. Tirtha Satish, 55 of 42. What an innings from her. Not much left to do for the rest of that UAE order. Kavisha Sharma, 9 for her. Kavisha Sharma, 13 off 22, undefeated. Samaira Darni-Darka, undefeated on 4 off 13. The UAE 101 for 5 with 2 deliveries left in the 19th over. That bowling card. 4 overs, none for 19 for Winnie Durisingham. Noor Dania, expensive, 20 in her 2 overs. Aisha Elisa, she fought hard, 1 for 10. Wickets also for Nikitila and Marcelisa, 1 for 13 for the Malaysian all-rounder and off-spinner, but they could not prevent UAE from chasing down this total, 101 for 5. The UAE with 8 deliveries left in this contest.
Yes, before the prize presentation from the Combox, I'll be signing off after 60 off plus games commenting in this Combox before we say goodbye to Kinrara Oval. Jay?
Absolutely, Yusri, you said it. Last international fixture at the Kinrara Oval. An emotional day for everyone. The UAE winning by 5 wickets today. This has been a production from the Malaysian Cricket Association in-house production crew. I'm your commentator for the day, one of your many commentators for the day, Jay Dansakahani. If you like what you've heard, you can follow me on Twitter at Jay Dansakahani. Follow the Malaysian Cricket Association. Follow the Asian Cricket Council as well as Crick Tracker. Yusri, it's been a pleasure being joined by you. I'm going to run down to that presentation area and leave the audience in your capable hands to close out this part of the broadcast. Don't go too far. Join us in around 5 to 10 minutes for that presentation ceremony.
If you join us a little late, Malaysia won the toss, either to bat first, and Malaysia only managed to score 100, loss of 4 wickets. That was a 50-wicket partnership who put up a 53 runs partnership of 55 deliveries. Aina Hamiza 28 of 38 and Harina Natyasha 25 of 24. Early on, when Julia scored 20 of 32 and Elsa Hunter 15 of 12. What a bowling performance by the UAE Induja. 2 for 17, Chaya Mughal 1 for 14, Kavisha Sharma 1 of 20. And UAE replied 101 for 5. They won the game, 8 balls to spare, 5 wickets in hand. Tirtha Satish, what an innings, 55 of 42. Kavisha Sharma unbeaten 13 of 22. For Malaysia, nothing much big with the bowling. Aisha Elisa bowled 1 for 10, Marcelisa 1 for 13, and Noor Atila 1 for 20. That's it from the Combox, and we'll be joining back soon with the prize presentation. Until then, stay tuned. UAE has won this trophy with 5 wickets in hand, and my co-commentator Jay will be taking on in the prize presentation. Until then, stay tuned.
Welcome to the final presentation ceremony at the ACC Women's T20 Championship. And the big news, of course, a big congratulations to the UAE, chasing down a target of 101 set by Malaysia with 8 wickets to spare. And we're going to keep things moving here at the Kinrara Oval. I'd like to introduce our first dignitary of the day, the General Manager for Finance and Operations for the Asian Cricket Council, Mr. Tusit Pereira. Mr. Pereira will be presenting tokens of appreciation to so many people who've made this tournament possible. To kick things off, the liaison officers for all the teams, Miss Ameline Sorfina. And Miss Priyankara Wikramasinghe for Malaysia. Mr. Suhail Fitri for Qatar. Mr. Abdul Rashid Ahad for Kuwait. Chandra Segar for the UAE. Zumika Azmi for Singapore. Emilia Rahim for Oman. Nurlia Natasha for Hong Kong. And of course, Mr. Izmir Azraf. Great to see so much enthusiasm here from the Malaysian players. So many more people left to thank. We'd now like to move on to the match officials. Firstly, Mr. Match referee, Mr. Venkatpati Raju. And of course, Mr. Edwin Sia. And Mr. Ramesh Menon, if you could join us up here as well. The umpires, Mr. Durganath, Mr. Kalidas Viswanathan. From Hong Kong, Mr. Tabarak Dar. Also Mr. Sivan Narayanan, Mr. Anand Natarajan. Mr. Pubalan and Mr. Samad Akbar. There we go, a lot of balloons here, a lot of celebrations. One of those balloons just popping. And of course, next, we'd like to thank our venue managers for the Kinrara Oval, Mr. Salman Othman. For the YSD UKM Oval, Mr. Azhar Ahmad. And of course, for the Selangor Turf Club, Mr. Venu Kumar. Great job from all the venue managers, as well as the tournament doctor, Mr. Venkatram. The logistics manager, Mr. Ahmad Sufalil. The head of secretariat, Mr. Subananta. a member of the Secretariat staff, Miss Anne, if you could join us up here for your token of appreciation. And of course, the technical director, Mr. Ramani Batumalai. Where is it? Head of Secretariat, Mr. Subananta. We missed you there for a second. If you could come up here. Oh no, you have to stay here for a little bit. We'll go live in a bit. Live? I mean... Once again, welcome to the final presentation ceremony here at the ACC Women's T20 Championship. A big win for the UAE, winning with 8 deliveries left, chasing 101 against runners-up Malaysia. Pretty soon we're going to see the UAE lifting that trophy, but first we have a lot of people left to thank. I'd like to introduce my dignitary, one of many for this evening, the General Manager for Finance and Operations at the Asian Cricket Council, Mr. Tusat Pereira, who will be presenting tokens of appreciation. Firstly, to the team managers. From the UAE, I beg your pardon, Ms. Chetrali Kalgutkar. From Malaysia, Ms. Thealina Thomas. Fantastic. And from Hong Kong, if you're here, Mr. Tommy Wong. Mr. Tommy Wong, if you could join us up here. From Nepal, Ms. Jayanti Devi Bhatt, if you're here, you could join us up here, that would be great. We'll get you that token of appreciation at a more convenient time. From Bhutan, Mr. Ujen Dorji. Ujen, taking that mask off. Thank you so much, Mr. Dorji. And thank you so much, Mr. Tusat Pereira, for helping us present these awards. A big round of applause for Mr. Tusat Pereira. I'd now like to invite our other dignitary for the evening, Mr. Mahinda Valipuram, the Development Committee Chairman for the ACC. Mr. Valipuram, if you could join me up here on stage. Fantastic. Mr. Valipuram will be helping us present the Player of the Final Award. And there could only be one winner. It was a pretty obvious winner as well, for 55 of 42 deliveries. Congratulations, Tirtha Satish. You could join Mr. Valipuram up here. Congratulations once again, Tirtha. And thank you so much to Mr. Mahinda Valipuram. A big round of applause for Mr. Mahinda Valipuram. I'd now like to invite the President of the Malaysian Cricket Association, Mr. Muhammad Iqbal Ali, to join us up here on stage. Mr. Iqbal looking fantastic in those Malaysia Cricket Association colors. And Mr. Iqbal will be helping us present the award for Best Batter of the Tournament. In 6 matches, she accumulated 192 runs with an average of 61 and a highest score of 115. Isha Oza, if you could join us up here on stage. Mr. Iqbal, if you could stick up there for a second, we're going to ask you to give the award for Player of the Series. Later. Best bowler's not here. In any case, here we go. The Player of the Series. Can I get a drum roll? Can I get some excitement? Can I get some anticipation here at the Kinrara Oval? The Player of the Series. Put your hands together for the left-handed opener from the UAE, Tirtha Satish. Tirtha, another award from you.
Thank you for giving me trophy, sir. You're sweeping every single trophy. Congratulations. Well done, well done, well done.
Tirtha, if you could stay with me a second and just approach that mic over there.
Yeah.
Tirtha, firstly, in the final, chasing 101, you lost that early wicket of Isha Oza. What were the conversations that you and Kavisha had at the crease at the time?
I think nothing much. I think all we did was plan to keep our game simple and just get those singles and doubles so that we can still keep the scoreboard ticking. And I think we did it well. And we just kept taking the singles and the occasional boundaries did come, so it helped us. So just keep everything simple.
Well, it seemed like the game plan definitely worked. And of course, a lot of people know this about you. You only started playing cricket around 2 to 3 years ago. But you're captaining the under-19s. You're here in a senior team tournament. You've won Player of the Tournament. What are you feeling right now?
I don't know what I'm feeling. I mean, it's all the players' efforts. I mean, the bowling display was really good. We came back really strong. And only because of them, we were able to keep the score to 101, and it made it easier for the batters to chase it down.
I'm going to keep things easy for you. One last question.
Yeah.
India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Thailand, and of course Malaysia in that Asia Cup. Talk to us about how big it is in your career playing against the best full members in the Asian region.
I think it's a big moment for all of us, like even Winnie or Isha or everyone. It's our almost first times for everyone. So not only my career, it's going to make a big impact for UAE and Malaysian cricket, and hopefully the standard of playing just keeps improving as we go further.
Fantastic. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'm going to let
Thank you
you
so much.
rejoin your team. Congratulations once again. A big round of applause there for Tirtha Satish, the Player of the Tournament. But now, we'd like to present the Runners-Up Awards. Firstly, of course, I'd like to thank Mr. Iqbal. Thank you so much for joining us up here. But to present the Runners-Up Trophy, we'd like to invite a very special dignitary, His Highness, Mr. Tunku Imran. If you could please join me up on stage, it would be a pleasure to have you. Sir, that's an absolutely wonderful smile. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Kinrara Oval. Fantastic. So, the hosts and the runners-up, Malaysia. If the Malaysian team could come up here one by one to collect your runners-up medals, that would be great. The runners-up, Malaysia. Let's get a round of applause for Malaysia. Stage from here. Sorry for the confusion. One by one. Here we go, Aina Hamiza. Congratulations on that runners-up trophy. Elsa Hunter, well played, elegant batter. Always a delight to watch. Dhanushri, she was here with the under-19s, getting a well-deserved award. Fantastic, more awards being given out. Juan Julia, the opening batter, the wicket-keeper batter. There we go, Ariana Natasha, a great innings today. Coming in at number 6, she could be proud of herself. Intan Jamahadayu, let's get a round of applause for her. Sasha Azmi, starred for the under-19s. The off-spinner, bright future for her. Nikatila. Another spinner making major contributions for Malaysian cricket. Nurdania Shahada. Yusrina Yaqub, congratulations on your medal. Aisha Elisa, what a first over that was today. Let's hear it from Marcelisa. And of course, Captain Fantastic, Winifred Dure Singham. Malaysian fans, make some noise for your captain. Winnie, if you could please join me on that mic for a couple of words. Winnie, of course, not the result you would have wanted today, but you are through to the Asia Cup. Just talk to us about, some of the feelings and sentiments in the dugout right now.
Actually, we are feeling good because we qualified for the Asia Cup, but we could have won this, but it didn't go our way. And I would like to say thank you, girls, for giving your 100%, 200% this whole tournament. Thank you to the coaches. Thank you to the physio, our our Madhuli psychologist. I want to say a big thank you to MCA for trusting on us and giving us this opportunity. I also would like to big thank you to the ground staff. They gave us without their hard work, we wouldn't have played yesterday's game, but they did fantastic job and we managed to play 11 overs match, and it was, thank you so much. And I would like to say thank you to ACC as well for giving us this opportunity, the two teams to qualify for this Asia Cup. Thank you so much.
Winnie, I'm not going to keep you any longer. That was really well spoken. Congratulations on finishing as runners-up.
Thank you so much.
Well done, Winnie.
Thank you, sir.
Round of applause for Winnie. And once again, I'd like to thank His Royal Highness, Mr. Tunku Imran. Thank you so much for joining us at the Kinrara Oval. And of course, a big thank you to the ACC and all the staff here at the MCA for organizing a magnificent tournament here at the Kinrara Oval and at the other venue, the YSD UKM Oval. Thank you so much for helping me out there. I'd like to invite once again onto the stage Mr. Mahinda Valipuram, the Development Committee Chairman for the ACC. Mr. Valipuram, of course, will be presenting the winner's trophy to the champions. Undefeated in the tournament, the UAE. You can be very proud of yourself. If you please join me up here. Of course, coming one by one, Priyanjali Jain, if you could join me up here.
Okay, thanks.
Congratulations, Priyanjali. Samaira Dharni Darka, Mr. Mahinda Valipuram will be presenting you with that award. So many more awards to give out. Saraksha Kote, congratulations. The off spinner from the UAE. Lavanya Kenny, she was here with the under-19s. More awards to give out. Ritika Rajat, congratulations. Part of a winning team here at the Kinrara Oval. Sia Gokhale, congratulations on your award. Vaishnavi Mahesh, congratulations. Kavisha Sharma. Sanchin Singh, she gets an award as well. Induja Nandkumar, if you could please step up here. Kavisha Sharma, the fast bowler, batting at number 4 in the last couple of games. The best batter of the tournament, Isha Oza. Make some noise. Tirtha Satish, you deserve an award as well. Look at that trophy cabinet, Tirtha Satish. UAE players, UAE fans, make some noise for Chaya Mughal. Chaya, once you're done with that picture, for one last time in this tournament, you're gonna have to deal with my questions. Chaya Mughal, you're through to the Asia Cup. You've won the trophy at the ACC Women's T20 Championship. How do you feel right now?
I mean, the feeling is amazing. Can be brought up? That's okay? Okay. So this feeling is amazing. I mean, you can't just describe it in words. This is something that we have planned for. This is something that we have spent our last 15 days. This is something that we've been preparing from past 2 years, and the reward is now. So I can't just thank God enough. I can't thank our coaches, Mr. Najib, Mr. Robin Singh, and Emirates Cricket for supporting us enough to give us enough matches and practices. That all together has produced the result today. So I'm on top of the world. I'm sure my team also is.
Chaya, I don't have any further questions from you. I'm not going to keep you much longer. Congratulations so much
Thank you
on
so
winning
much.
this tournament.
Thank you.
Don't go away, Chaya.
We'll call you up back up in a minute. Trophy? Trophy? And of course, Chaya, we said we'd call you back up here, and now it's time for you to accept the trophy. Congratulations, UAE! You are the champions at the ACC Women's T20 Trophy. Congratulations, Chaya. And now, here we go, Chaya, lift that trophy up. UAE, hop onto the stage. This is your moment. You deserve this. You are champions right now of the ACC Women's T20 Championship. Join us up here. Najib, Chetrali, all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the champions of the ACC Women's T20 Championship, the UAE! Congratulations once again to the UAE. That wraps up our broadcast here at the Kinrara Oval. A big win for the UAE with 8 deliveries to spare over Malaysia. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone at the ACC. Thank you to everyone at the MCA. And thank you everybody at home who's tuned in throughout this tournament.